We watch anime.
We watch anime.
We watch anime.
Oh my god, it's the last episode of the season. It's the end of the... Was this the spring? Yeah, this is the spring season, so summer season's about to start. Spring season anime.
I feel like I need to say that I'm Quinn again.
Yes, you gotta get closer to the microphone.
Quinn
also.
again. Quinn again. Quinn again.
Quinn, you're back.
Quinn, yeah.
You are our first returning guest. And you're here also because we're going to bully commenters on this episode.
And you exceeded at that.
Yeah, I'm good at that.
Or excelled, rather. I mean.
Well, you know, we try to be nice because we are trying to make money.
But I'm trying to be mean if you're not giving me money.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, I also need Quinn to be like the anger translator, like the Barack Obama anger translator. Like, you know, and just like let them know how I really feel.
Oh yeah, I mean I love calling people dumb, so I work at
hey, speaking of calling people dumb, Elon Musk, you're the fucking worst person ever. What is wrong with you and rate limits? Like, I'm just trying to retweet the thing that says our show is live right now.
Oh no.
Did you see the thing of why that's happening?
Yeah, because you didn't transfer all the shit off
haven't
Google.
Actually
yeah,
Google.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me to send that tweet to the few people who are still capable of looking at Twitter today when it was set to like 600 tweets.
Now it's 800.
800 tweets. I don't know how I haven't hit the limit today. I guess because we've been busy like hanging out and having fun and not being on Twitter, which is more so something I do when I'm pissed off at work in between job sites, just sitting there doom scrolling.
Twitter is a good dissociating thing, yeah.
What if I close Twitter and open it back? I really hate this app. Hey, anyone in our audience, give me a Blue Sky invite, please. I'm at Birdstork on Twitter.
Yeah, the Twitter's a nightmare. Working is a nightmare. I'm very proud of this show because it's making us a decent amount of money on Patreon and on Backed.by. And if you support us on those locations, there is a bonus episode about Bocchi the Rock. There will soon be a Cyberpunk Edge Runners bonus episode. Maybe even tomorrow. I'm not making any promises, though. Because
it should be tomorrow, right?
It should be tomorrow. Okay. Unless we could do it tonight if we were up for it, but I don't know if we'll be up for it. I mean,
we could probably watch the rest of it.
Who would we live stream to? Yeah, everyone needs to sleep.
No,
her audience.
My audience is always awake.
Oh, okay.
It's a weird statistical anomaly, but my channel is just viewed equally all hours of day.
Interesting. Funny.
Just because my audience is all over the world, it's just like English-speaking anime fans from everywhere.
Huh.
But and also lots of people who are just up all night. Yeah, but yeah. So they're talking about NaNoWriMo in the
Camp Nano. Though. I've never heard of that before.
I think I have, but I'm not going to get distracted talking about NaNoWriMo.
Don't start another book you're not going to finish.
Okay. All we've been doing is working and occasionally stopping to watch anime or hang out with Quinn when we can, and that's it. Like, life has been a nonstop tunnel of work and alcohol and stress, and I really wanted to quit my job very, very badly this week. I was like begging to not do it anymore. But
we need to buy a house.
I would like money. And this show makes us some money, but not enough to quit the day job yet.
Soon. I will bully all of you watching into giving me more money.
There are a few people who are really fucking doing their part to make it so that this could be... These people are giving us $10 every single month and or $100 a year. And that's like really a lot of money to give us every month.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even Patreon anyone. I don't except like an NSFW artist and Dick Masterson at this point.
There's nobody I can afford to give $10 a month to personally. So I don't think I've ever been that high of a patron. Well, maybe for a couple people at some point, but usually I'm a lower level patron to the people I patron. So I really appreciate. Like I've said many times throughout my career, if everybody who watched me gave me $1 every month, I'd be a fucking millionaire. If you give me $10 a month, like, I don't know, if there were a lot of you, I'd be a fucking millionaire.
Yeah, I mean, you are the change I want to see in the world, people who give us $10 a month.
The change, cha-ching, that I want to see in the world.
I wasn't even thinking about that. So starting off, Dylan, I'm not going to read it out loud, but your email is really funny.
Devon Hall, last S's.
M2, Hidden Music Island.
Anathemi Badesu.
Susu2.
And Zero Tsun Game. And of course, True Fox 1 over on backed.by/we-watch-anime, which only takes 1% of our proceeds as opposed to Patreon's 5%.
And if everyone gave us money on that, we'd be even richer.
And well, more importantly, we cannot be kicked off of back.by no matter what happens. Patreon changed policy and decided that, I don't know, no trans allowed or something.
Wait, what?
No, it wouldn't do that.
Hypothetical, okay.
Well,
they kicked furries off, so...
Yeah.
They did?
Yeah.
Huh.
Or, I think it was just furry porn, but still. I mean, that's...
Weird, because
they've kicked a lot of fucking people off.
One of the only things I still follow on Patreon is porn.
The only reason I still use Patreon is that...
Sometimes, yeah.
I have the because, like... If you were to sign up for Patreon now, you would have to give them 10% of all your earnings, and that's been true for like 7 years. The only reason that I only have to do 5% is that I've been like one of the first people that had a Patreon, so I've got special privileges.
And they resent you for it.
Well, no, they seem to. I don't know. They liked me at a time. I don't know if they still do. Anyway, I've complained a lot about Patreon over the years, so they probably don't really like me that much. But yeah, back.by, we own our instance of it. You cannot kick us off of it. Nobody can. So it's fun to use. Anyways, we're going to talk about some anime. Wait, is there anything else I have to preamble this with? Oh, yes. Everybody, please tell us what you want us to cover next season, because there's not a lot coming out, and we're not going to catch up on a bunch of fucking sequels. We've considered catching up on Mushoku Tensei because it's very popular and a lot of people in my audience are watching it, but Bird has not seen most of it.
I've seen enough of it to know I didn't really like it.
Right. And I only kind of came around to it on like the last couple episodes of season 1, and I thought it was pretty good for season 2. I don't necessarily want to have to watch the whole thing again. I don't know if it'll be fun to keep talking about week by week.
I vote you guys just talk about classic anime. Just talk about good shit.
That's what I would like to do. And I feel
I would
like...
do that.
Well, so here's the thing. Like, this season, there were... Like, Oshi no Ko being such a popular show reeled us into talking about it. Of course, we hate it, so it's just put us at odds with a large segment of the anime community that loves the show. But, you know, there have been legitimately good anime this season. You know, last week we wrapped up Heavenly Delusion, which was great. This week we wrapped up Hell's Paradise, which is great. I would say I liked it even more than Heavenly Delusion. Yeah, mine too. Skip and Loafer was really good. And other than that, most of them are, like, at best okay, but I don't know. I don't necessarily...
But at worst, they're Oshi no Ko.
Yeah, Oshi no Ko is the only one that I feel like I regret watching.
Jesus. I feel like I mean, I know nothing about it.
You enjoyed the last episode a little bit,
I just like their eyes.
Right?
The eyes are cool, yeah. I mean, I enjoyed this episode of Oshi no Ko a lot more than most episodes of Oshi no Ko.
I thought it was going to be worse. Because Anathemi Badesu was like, you know, I was giving the show the benefit of a doubt until the end, but I really hated the ending, and I don't know, I didn't hate it that much, but I've hated the show so fucking much up to that point that it was not a high bar to clear of, like, hating it less than other episodes. It starts off really good. Anyway, we'll get to that when we get to it. But yeah, we need to know what we're going to watch next season. I have a few propositions.
The vending machine show. I died and got reincarnated as a vending machine.
That's one of the ones that's actually going to come out that I might be interested in.
Really?
If it's any good. Just because the main character turns into a vending machine. That sounds fucking hilarious.
Okay.
And then...
It'd be summer, right?
I'm sorry, I'm a hater.
There's like a show about zombies or something that's probably going to be popular. I don't know. Again, let us know what you... Like, at this point, we're trying to appeal to our established audience more than anybody else, I think. We're not trying to reach out and grab new people to watch this show. I want you guys to be enjoying it as much as possible.
Isn't a lot of your anime fans like old anime heads? Like, wouldn't they love classic shows?
I would think so. So that's kind of what I'm pitching here is I don't really want to watch any of the fucking shit that's coming out next season. So if you would rather watch us talk about classics, listen to us talk about classics.
I am probably going to catch up on Jujutsu Kaisen and talk about that occasionally.
I
did like that.
I went to the movie in theaters and I walked out because I didn't know what was going on board.
Zom 100, is that the zombie show? Yeah, that looks pretty cool.
I'm sure that'll get some viewership.
Bungo Stray Dogs I'd like to catch up on,
It's
but
like
it's
5
4
fucking
seasons.
seasons in. Yeah. Again, we just don't have the time to catch up on any of these sequels before next season. I would way rather... Quinn suggested Steins Gate, which Bird has never seen, and I've seen at least twice, so that would be really fun.
And I just watched it, so I wouldn't have to watch it, and I could join in.
Ooh, that would be fun,
that's
too.
the vending machine, by the way.
Well, okay.
It's pretty cute, right?
Sure, yeah. That's good. That's a good.
I don't know. There's plenty of stuff next season that I am probably going to at least try to watch, but I don't know how much of it we're actually going to watch for the show. There's the new Rurouni Kenshin.
Yeah, I kind of want to watch that, but I don't know. Rurouni Kenshin is a weird... It feels weird, man.
How many times have you reviewed the Evangelion movies? I want to watch those.
I have done that recently.
There is another one called The Masterful Cat is Depressed Again Today, about a girl who a woman who adopts a cat, and then the cat becomes her kind of live-in husband, housekeeper type deal.
Gary always at $2, always down for classics. Who's here tonight? We got Quinn.
Quinn again.
I've been watching her play through Dark Souls for the millionth time over this weekend, and Mega Man 9. You've beaten Mega Man 9 on the highest difficulty, right?
Well, Proto Man might be the hardest, but super hard is really fucking hard too. But yeah, Dark Souls.
Trying not to go down a Mega Man hole.
Oh yeah, I mean, that is my autism. I love that.
So, yeah, we want to know what shows to watch. Steins Gate would be a good one. I really want us to watch Revolutionary Girl Utena, because I really think Bird is a lot like Utena. And I think I'm a lot like Anthe, and I want to ship it. I want us to cosplay them.
I want to turn into a car.
I want Bird to turn... I mean, you are kind of a car.
Utena turns into a car.
Only in the movie.
In the movie.
In the movie, she turns into a car. It's a big metaphor.
Oh my
Ellen,
god.
Dark Gathering is one of the ones that I think looks really cool, but I also have no idea if it's good or not.
Oh my god.
You love Utena, but you do not get it? That's all the more reason for us to cover it, because then I can explain what the fuck is going on.
I will probably need that as well.
I do have it's unfortunately pre-transition, like right before transition, and filmed with my face on camera. But there is a 45-minute Utena analysis on this channel. I wouldn't watch it personally, but you'll probably enjoy it if you like the show. Anyways, yeah, they're saying, basically the chat is all saying, give us the classics. So, I mean, I think everybody's going to be in favor of that.
Just name some classics.
Yeah,
of the blood.
No, we're just going to do the ones I haven't seen yet, so that way I can watch more
Everybody
classics.
give your suggestions in the comments, but give as many as you want, because, whichever name I see the most is going to be the ones that make it into the show.
Okay, I'm going to make,
It's purely a popularity contest.
No, it's not.
I'm going to make 100 accounts just to type K in the chat over and over.
Which one's K?
It's not really a classic. It's a show where a meteor crashed in World War II, and now 7 people have weird fantastical powers.
It's also it's funny because I know based on what has won
that's the main character is one of my favorite people.
Based on what has won the polls for the bonus episodes, Sorry, you both opened up your phones. It's very distracting for me.
Well, stop looking at the phones.
Yeah,
I
sounds like a
tell you
problem.
to do this last time too.
I'm getting more information. So. We could do Cowboy Beep Boop.
I have not seen all of that.
We could do Samurai Champloo.
I also have not seen all of that. I would like to watch the original Trigun because we did.
Oh, that would be a good one. I don't want to do Cowboy Bebop or Samurai Champloo.
Trigun.
Not this season anyways. But based on what has been winning the Patreon polls, people have been going for shows that I have never talked about, stuff that's been popular from the last 3 years that I never talked about, which is funny to me because I don't stand by almost any opinion I've shared on anime ever. So as far as I'm concerned, none of my takes would be even close to
Evangelion's kind of trash.
Yeah, it is.
It's kind of trash. It's also really good though.
Wait, no, I was joking. No.
Has Bird ever tried to watch Garzy's Wing? I have not. However, I have been subjected
I
to
love
it.
Garzy's Wing so much.
I watched the first episode a few times.
Me too.
I never watched more than one.
I have never been able to get through the whole thing.
Wait, what? You're the one that talks about all the time.
I've never made it all the way. I always pass out. Because I only ever get the idea to watch it when I'm like blackout drunk. Like that's when I'm like, I gotta watch Garzy's Wing right now, and then just sit there and quote the whole thing back at it.
Where should I go if I want to hear Trixie's views on Heavenly Delusion?
This
of the
entire
previous
podcast,
episodes.
yeah. We Watch Anime is the channel where the edited podcasts are posted. We have covered every episode of Heavenly Delusion. It ended last week, so we're done. I will compile all of them into their own video before too very long. I'll probably do that one next, just because it sounds like there's demand. Anyway, yeah, let us know what we're going to watch. Let's go ahead and jump into these 5 anime that we watched this week, 3 of which concluded.
Man.
One of them is Dead Mount Death Play.
Dante, repeating yourself does not count as seeing the name a lot, just to be clear. He really wants us to watch Berserk.
Well, that would be fun.
I've never seen Berserk.
1997 Berserk. Fun is a strong, like maybe not the word for the Berserk experience.
Garzy's Wing is unwatchable alone or sober.
Not alone. You just
fun.
gotta be blackout fucking drunk, but you can definitely watch
fun.
it alone and just giggle to yourself.
So the anime for Berserk in 1997 is good, but like also I've read the manga. Why do I care about that?
I have to say, like every time one of us says Garzy's Wing, I like replay the entire first episode in my mind. Like if you say it, and I just it's like all the images start flooding my brain. And
me
with
like, the entire Dark Souls 1 map.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Oh, as soon as you said that, I just like everything I've seen you play in the last day, like hyper speed replayed through my mind. That's crazy. That is a weird feeling. Okay, Dead Mount Death Play. So I know Quinn, you're not gonna have any fucking idea what the hell is going on in this show because it's incomprehensible. Do you remember watching this?
Which one was this? Which one was this?
Death God from another world inhabits the body of a kid in Tokyo.
There's a really hot woman in a bikini wearing
I tried to explain the plot to you at one point. You went, too much plot.
Oh, this is the one by the Durarara.
Yes.
I think it looked a lot cooler than you guys gave it credit for.
I don't think it doesn't look cool.
Than we gave it credit for.
All the character designs were amazing. The animation was amazing. The action was amazing. It didn't seem like there was any cool themes happening.
We're gonna have to subject you to like the first couple episodes.
No,
of the show.
I don't care.
You definitely saw it at its best. Like,
yeah.
This is
okay. Well, my experience
is one of the most exciting episodes.
Any of the fans that are like mad at them for hating on it, it's great. I love it.
I would like to see if this show gets good next time it's around, whenever it comes out again, because it's got part 2, right?
Yes, part 2 comes out in the fall. We will definitely cover it because we have committed to covering every episode of any show we talk about unless you guys really don't want us to. Like, I suspect people will tell us, don't cover Oshi no Ko Season 2. They'll be like, we get it, you don't like it, fucking stop. I think...
I don't think that. I think
we'll see. We'll see what happens. But
it.
Yeah, if people tell us like not, it depends. Probably. Some people do, but I don't think those people want to subject themselves to having to hear about it for like
people like
season.
Angry.
Depends on how long it takes.
I like
to come
hearing
out
people
too.
like things.
I do
my
too.
Preference.
Me too, but it's not the. My most popular video, How to Recognize a Terrible Anime. It just got like another 100,000 views this week out of nowhere.
Isn't that funny? That most of that episode you talk about liking an anime, right? You talk about liking Steins Gate.
What it is it's part 3 of a series where the first 2 parts were How to Recognize a Great Anime.
Okay.
So the first part is just like 30 minutes of loving Steins Gate. The second part is like 20 minutes of loving Haruhi and Lucky Star and something else.
Okay.
And then the third episode is, and now let's shit on Gate and Joker Game because I had subjected myself to watching them and I had to take it out on the rest of the world, and now it's like 6 million views.
It's a very marketable video. The
thumbnail
is amazing.
The best thing that's ever happened to me.
The title's really great because there's so much shit anime, and like people are like, I gotta know how to sort through this, and you're like, boom.
Well, and the whole point of it was to liberate people from the 3-episode test because it was like a real cultural institution in anime that like you have to watch 3 episodes or else how are you gonna know? And like I fucking know. I can fucking tell if it's really shit. I don't need 3 episodes.
Honestly, once you become media literate, like you can tell pretty much immediately. Like
there I will say that giving like this is a show, for instance, Dead Mount Death Play had more good in it than I would have assumed based on like the first 15 minutes of the first episode, where I was fucking furious. Like I would have
seen the character designs. I would have seen the animation. I would have, and like just the director. Like I feel like I would have given it.
I think
longer.
my whole thing with the first episode of this show was like, wow, this all looks really cool and the concepts are really interesting, but you're not doing anything with it at all.
It doesn't look like it has anything.
Well, to clarify, the first 15 minutes of the first episode is all in the fantasy
family
setting.
Question mark?
It doesn't.
Yeah, that is.
It looked like it was exploring nothing on its. The final episode has to explore something. Like,
I'll tell you, the theme of Ryogo Narita's writing is basically, I'm going to create a bunch of characters that I really like, and then I'm just going to give like the plot is basically the reason that all these people know each other, but the real deal is that they just hang out. All of his shows, there's just tons of scenes where it's all the characters hanging out in a house, just like being friends.
But this
like,
show, it's a building.
Casual. This episode would not reveal that because this is like...
Yeah, I was about to say, it was mostly like action.
This is the climax.
Or like noir
yeah.
and,
but like most of the show has been like characters sitting around having banal conversations that have nothing to fucking do with anything. But like... when they fight, they're all like super badasses.
I like Bakemonogatari for that. But...
Bakemonogatari is, well, in that one the conversations are really good.
Yeah.
The problem with this show is the conversations are fucking terrible. And, like, none of the characters have any interesting personalities.
I heard somebody go off that most of Bakemonogatari is is wordplay and shit, which like
it is very wordplay dense.
I don't remember any of that. I just remember the conversations.
It's really hard
good.
to translate the wordplay is the problem. Like a lot of the time, even animation, like the reason there's so much text on screen in that show is that a lot of the lingual jokes are like kanji based. Mm-hmm. So it's like literally a text joke that wouldn't make sense for someone to say, but then they like put the kanji on screen so you get what the joke is. But I wouldn't because I can't fucking.
I don't know. I liked it regardless. Like I thought the conversation's really good. Like
Nisio scene, big influence on me for sure. Anyway. These characters, Phantom Solitaire has...
my favorite character. He's the best.
He's definitely the author insert. He's very similar to Rail Tracer from Bakano, who is my favorite character in that show. That guy just believed he was God and therefore could do whatever he wants and was constantly proving it by doing whatever he wants.
That's amazing.
And he's the only character in the show who's not like an immortal or has any kind of superpowers. He's just really badass.
Wow.
And since he makes it through every scenario, he's like, I must just be God.
Wow.
I am the main character.
Anyone can do that.
It was very inspiring to me when I was a teenager. Anyway, Phantom Solitaire is kind of similar. He has a dialogue where he says something like, I consider everyone to just be my ally. I kind of feel that.
That was cute. I like that.
I tend to view everybody as like, well, this person could do something for me.
He's also bullshitting, though. Like, the whole time, I don't remember this character's name, but Rosen, the bodyguard, is interrogating...
Twink, the little
twink with prosthetics. Is interrogating Phantom Solitaire, and Phantom Solitaire. Yeah, I know. I know, right?
Okay.
Phantom Solitaire is trying to like learn stuff by just pretending he knows names.
Is that his name?
Yeah, that's Phantom Solitaire.
Oh my god, it sounds like a brony name.
This guy would be a brony.
He would.
I think one of the first things he does after getting out of prison is VR.
I'm sure the director is a brony, so it probably checks out.
That's hilarious.
But anyway, so...
And in the middle there, by the way, is Lemmings.
Yeah, Lemmings the most kawaii character in the show.
There's the ball. That's not a person.
It's
no,
just
it's
a
hood.
It's the...
Oh, okay.
I don't know why they didn't, like, have Lemmings turn around. I'm not going to assume Lemmings' gender, because I'm almost certain the reveal is going to be that it's a woman later, but...
I don't think they're going to reveal what Lemmings is.
Maybe, but I don't know. I feel like by the end of the whole thing, there's got to be, like, a... Haha, this is who Lemmings was, like... But specifically, Phantom Solitaire says to Lemmings something about having like a boyish or some. He uses a word that basically means like a cute face. Like somehow he notices through the facial structure, through all the bandages, that this person is like dainty or something. Whereas everybody else has always just assumed it's a man. I'm sure we'll find out some kind of thing. Anyway, they all meet on the rooftop. They're all fighting each other off. They don't really know what each other's intentions are.
Oh, and then, fire safety people are saying words that Corpse God recognizes, and I think the words he's saying are this woman's name. I don't remember what her name is, though.
She looks so fucking cool. Look at this shot. This is
really
badass.
Cool.
Ever since her character was introduced, the show has gotten significantly better because she's in it, and I can look at her. Then there's also, like, these weird other... like magic women who are like tree people that she's talking to.
I really liked this tree lady. She's a lot of fun. She's
fucking adorable. That's a great character design.
But basically,
I want her outfit. I want to be her. I want to be both of them.
And
Can
the
I
tree?
be both
Yeah,
of them
I was
at
about
the
to
same
say,
time?
I want to be the. I want to dress like that.
So sorry. Anyway, Necromancer's talking to Tree Girl, and Tree Girl's basically talking about how Corpse God is strong or whatever, and the Necromancer teacher goes, "Nah, that guy's a fucking idiot. That guy isn't good at anything. He's too empathetic," which is, he's better at summoning and empathizing with the spirits he works with, but that doesn't matter. And then basically takes about a minute to say his weakness is when everything he has feels threatened. He just completely loses control and doesn't know what he's doing.
He's gonna go into fucking overdrive.
She's really hot.
Oh yeah, this is like even further. Like, I guess this is like backstory. I got the wrong shot here. I wanted to get a shot of Death God as a kid because he's fucking adorable.
He is very
He's just
cute.
like a little guy wearing a little fucking skull mask, like a little Cubone. But yeah, I don't know. She's just like trying to.
Wait, X-Death is looking so much happier post transition. Who's X-Death? Is that her?
That's a Final Fantasy main villain.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh yeah, this is. I don't remember. There's a lot of explanation of the powers that are being used, of why Death God can use these like hands. Do you remember any of this, Bird? I kind of blanked through a lot of this.
He's making like a ward over the whole building. They have a big name for it. I didn't catch what the big name was any single time, but basically he's just summoning all the spirits, and really he makes everyone cold. I think the prosthetic guy goes like, "Wow, it feels like I'm at the bottom of a lake right now." But so he makes everything cold, and then he starts using I think he calls them silent hands, but they're not silent, they're just invisible. And then he starts using that to interfere with the Lemmings and Phantom Solitaire fight. It is a pretty cool scene to see Lemmings just confused as fuck about what is stopping them. Phantom Solitaire then like shoots out a bunch of balloons and escapes from that. Fire safety. So there's two fire safety people in this scene. There's the Umbrella Man, who we've seen a couple times, and then there's a Raincoat Girl, who we've seen I think only once or twice. But the cops that we were introduced to last episode, it's like a blonde short-haired guy with glasses and an older guy, come across Fire Safety Girl and basically go, "What the hell are you doing wearing a jacket in such nice weather?" And she is pretty much immediately like, "Uh-oh, the jig is up." But then she lies and gets away with it. So everyone's converging on this building. To do what? I don't know.
I'm just so fucking impressed with your ability to do that, to remember what the fuck. Like, I don't remember any of that.
I love how when we're watching something, you're so unjudging. If I don't follow the plot of something, you're just instantly like, explain exactly what's going on. I don't know.
Yeah, Bird is incredibly good at keeping up with what's... Well, it's probably because he's gotten used to watching shit with me and realizing I can't keep up with what is happening. Like, even in shows I really like and I'm really paying attention to, I'll have to like ask questions.
I was pretty impressed how well you followed Climax, like all the different subplots and characters and stuff.
That movie was really engaging for me.
I don't think in previous watches I had followed every character arc. Like, I was pretty impressed.
Again, level of engagement matters a lot. I mean, that movie's presentation is so unique that, like... Because the thing with anime is it's so trope heavy that I'll see an image and my brain shuts off because it thinks it's already seen this shit. Because it literally has. I mean, you've all seen the We Have Accepted Mediocrity video, except maybe Bird. But,
yeah, no,
like,
watched that one.
Devue's edit in that is really fucking incredible. When it's just like snap cutting between every single anime doing the same shot, and it's like 100 fucking shows just over and over the same shot.
I like that video because
Devue fucking knocked it out of the park.
It's amazing.
Shout out Devue. We love Devue.
Devue is amazing.
Anyways.
I think I pretty much said everything that I remember happens, unless there's another screenshot for me to remember something
well, this
about.
is like... Yeah, I don't know. He's just
Oh, right.
like being...
So he has discovered some stuff, basically.
Some
like,
stuff.
No, like information. He's discovered that the Pen, who is an ex-internal affairs officer or something, is who they are.
Right.
So that's a thing. He knows that Corpse God has power. He just doesn't know where it comes from or what the point is. This guy's whole character motivation, by the way, is to prove that magic is real. Right. He does like cutesy fake magic.
He's a magician, right? He wants to believe in real magic happening, and now he's kind of convinced, so he's excited about it.
I forgot how much I love this character because he's literally introduced
really
as like
fun.
just kidnapping the prime minister as well as every other member of the opposition parties, and then just dropping them off somewhere.
It's definitely the heart and soul of this anime. Oh, that was it. That's all I have.
Wow.
All right, well,
I just wanted to say that animation was insane. The black hands breaking
that
reality.
scene looked really cool.
There's also this black cube breaking reality with the same animation, but it looked even trippier. I don't know, cool shit.
This episode did a lot better than most of them at mostly just
having stuff happen.
Well, I was gonna say the opposite. I don't think that much. All that really happened is this guy learned the name of the one dude. It was mostly just everybody learning shit, which usually in this show, everyone learning shit is 5 people sitting in a room having a very fucking boring conversation. So it was nice that, like, they learned shit in a proactive way where, like, it felt like something was happening at the very least, even if, like, the plot didn't advance that far necessarily. But, again, this is coming back in the fall, so we'll see the rest of it then.
I'm excited. I hope it is better.
Yeah, I guess we should give our final thoughts on Dead Mount Deathplay.
I feel like when this show started, I gave it like a 5 or a 6. I'd say like 6.5. If it really capitalizes on everything they set up with, and the next season isn't like half episodes where nothing is happening, unless the nothing that is happening is the shark girl being really cute, because I'm okay with that. But yeah, I don't know. It's fine. It's not the worst thing I've watched this season or lately.
No, but it is like the second worst thing I watched this season.
Oh my god!
After Oshi no Ko.
That's so intense. What the hell? This show is alright! At least from my wrap-up thoughts, it was pretty good. It has good animation.
Actually, my big problem with this show is they probably should have just started the show right here. They didn't need any of the corpse god stuff in the beginning, like seeing him come to the real world and all the polka crap, all the establishing. They could have just started it right here, and, they re-explain who everyone is every single episode. So it's not like you really miss that much.
I would give this show a strong 4 to a light 5.
Oh my god. What the heck?
The first episode, when we watched the first 3 episodes, we fucking
I was
hated
really
it.
upset.
Really?
We were really
Oh my
upset.
God.
It was really bad. I want to say, like, episode 4, it started to pick up, and then it was, like, episode 8 or 7 or 8 was, like, really good. The one that had, like, the cool animation moments and shit. This was, like, the second best episode of the show, and I still didn't feel like very much happened. A lot of characters got established this season. They didn't really do anything. And, I don't know. This kind of reminds me of, like, watching the first arc of Jujutsu Kaisen, where I was like, yeah, I mean, it looks cool, and theoretically what's happening is cool, but I just never cared, and there was so much explanation of stuff, random details about the setting and the plot that I don't care. So, yeah, I don't know, for me it was mostly boring. It had its moments, so I didn't give it the worst score. Which will go to Oshi no Ko.
That's not as bad as you wanted to give it? Jesus Christ.
I mean, this show really had the opportunity to be a lot worse than it is.
Oh my god. Wow.
It's like...
I was surprised that it was at all good
shit.
when it picked up, but... Alright. Let's do the best anime this season.
Oh, we're going straight into it. Okay.
Hell's fucking Paradise. This episode was amazing.
It was really good.
This was just some of the better... the death scene was, like, really moved me.
Yeah, it was...
Good art.
And you have not seen any of this show before.
It was,
and you were like really blown away by this episode.
It was really beautiful.
I think the
really
one
iconic
complaint you had about this show was when they started explaining the power
of
the Tao thing. And
yeah,
you're like, I hate
I'm
shonen.
allergic to shonen. I just hate shonen. Or just when they talk about mechanics. I don't know. I don't give a shit about that. But
this show.
Nen.
What really blew my mind right off the bat was like the episode started, and I was expecting to have to explain stuff to you, but I felt like it was really clear cut.
Yeah.
Like there was a big monster. There was like 4 or 5 people in danger. A guy shows up and saves them and starts kicking ass, and it's pretty clear what's going on.
Very self-contained. I honestly would show some of these scenes to other people just of like, this is an insane thing that happened in animation. Like, I don't know.
I want to show you the end of the last episode as well, because this was basically the second half of a fight. The previous episode was the ninja girl fighting the monster when it was still in human form, and the scene in which the character who you like, the death scene that moved you in this episode, that character's actually being killed scene is this incredibly trippy, weird fucking sequence.
Oh, really?
It's like just awesome.
No, I definitely want to see that. It wasn't just the death. The whole theme of the villain was like yin and yang, life and death. They're talking about, they're like spewing philosophy as they're killing it about life and death, and then I don't know. It's so beautiful.
How the powers work in this is also very entangled with yin and yang. They explain it like in the last episode, I think, where this guy starts fighting, or the big monster starts fighting them because he's interested in the ninja girl, because she has the yin energy to his yang or something like that, and so he wants to train her to get better at Tao. I don't know.
Train her as in use her as a human experiment is what he wants to do with the villain. But yeah, so the villains in this, the Tencent, this monster before it transformed could freely transform between male and female because it has both yin and yang energies, which are normally gender segmented. Bird literally attributed this show to part of coming out as gender fluid.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Honestly, that episode kind of made me want to watch like more of the show. That's the only thing I've watched with you guys that made me want to do that.
It's really good.
Someone in the chat just said, "We love a girl who fights with her secretions." That's what the female ninja. I mean, she consumes poison and then can metabolize it into like a slime that she can use as like whips and stuff.
So, this episode, again, as I described it, opens, Blind Samurai shows up, saves the characters who were fighting in the last one. It's an incredibly fucking badass scene because he shows up and he's just like, I've been training, fighting these fucking monsters in the woods. I have figured out how to defeat them. Now you, an immortal, shall learn what death means. And then he just starts, like, cutting all the whips around him and shit. And just, fucking just being a badass in general. The cute Islander girl whose name I keep forgetting is there with him. What
is her name? She hasn't gotten
It's a weird name. Time. It's like a very uncommon name, but here she is hugging the other girls.
Real quick, Landon is in the chat. Butthole
Weeb.
Weeb.
Shout out Butthole Weeb.
How do you feel about another Kenshin anime coming out? Real quick.
Well, we'll get into that. We can't do that in the middle of this.
Okay, fine. Hi, Landon. Thanks for being here.
So, yeah, she starts hugging the other girls, and they're just kind of like, what are you doing? Because basically they're too weak to go back and fight. I mean, Shiori, that's her name, right? She wants to go back in. Sagiri. Why did I... whatever. Sagiri wants to go back into the fight, and she's like, don't do that, you're all fucking beat up. And Yuzuri has like, I'm not fucking getting up.
She literally just sits down.
I'm done.
Yeah. Short girl's name is Nurugai.
Nurugai is it's a very strange name. I've never heard that one. Nurugai is like trying to basically, in her experience growing up, when she would hug people, they would become re-energized, and we learned it seems to be some sort of Tao transfer, which
is adorable.
it works to give them enough energy to start concocting how they're going to help in this fight, because like Blind Guy, as much as he's kicking ass at first, he gets like embedded with all these
scratched
flowers
because you know the big monster has a bunch of like rose needles shooting out of it at any given time, and he gets a bunch of scratches, and then flowers grow out of it.
Yeah, it's probably the show trying not to be too cheesy by it not just being a literal hug, but like it's so cute. Like
it is.
It's so perfect.
It really feels in the moment like she's just like, I'm gonna hug you strong.
You know?
Honestly, like
when her character has been like that the whole time too, because when he's dead now, but the blonde guy, like she was just constantly like trying to get him in a better headspace by like teasing him and saying they were going to get married and stuff like that. It was cute.
She's a good one. I like her a lot. I actually like all the women in this show a whole lot, and this show has a lot of feminist themes to it as well.
Is it really necessary to lick it?
No. An actual funny joke in an anime.
And yet, so in the previous episode, I was saying that I think Yuzuriha is gay for Sagiri because she pretty much only ever uses and abuses men, and even though like she gives Senta, who is just in love with her, and she obviously knows this, she gives him like a nice send off at the end of this episode, but she had just been blowing him off and treating him like
using
shit.
him as a literal human shield.
Yeah, up until that point. But like with Sagiri, she's super nice and obviously wants to help, and is like in this scene she is using her secretions, like she's covering her in her secretions and she's licking her, and yeah, she says, is it necessary to lick it? And she's like, no. So yeah, I definitely think they're building a Yuri thing.
But so basically what's happening here, aside from the licking, the point of the licking is they're wrapping themselves in bandages and then using some kind of her secretion, some kind of medicine, I assume, so that they don't get nicked by the dangerous flowers and turn into flowers themselves.
And they're basically going to be like a distraction, I think.
Yeah.
So that...
Well, I think, because Sagiri also has... Sagiri and Shion, the blind man, have the opposite Tao to the big monster, and so they are the people who can actually hurt him and stop him, and stop them from regenerating. Sagiri sees that Shion is, like, literally dying, and maybe not literally dying, but going on a big monologue about how he is ready to die no matter what, and he's just gonna fucking kick ass until he does. And she's like, I'm not letting him die. I like that guy. He's not gonna die. And then she jumps in, and Shion is at first like, fuck off. What are you doing? Go away. You're not, you're it's kind of the repeat of like a couple episodes ago of everyone going, you're in my way. No, you're in my way. No, you're in my way.
It is one of my favorite anime tropes because, like, I don't know, if two people are constantly trying to be as noble as possible, then they're always going to be like sacrificing themselves from one another and trying to prevent the other from sacrificing themselves from them. It's just a fun trope. What was it? Shirayuki Hime did that a lot in its main relationship. Anyway, the silver-haired dude does this fucking badass maneuver where he dodges some vines.
I hope you got a screen cap of what the villain looked like, because it was one of the coolest villains I've ever seen.
We had that in the previous episode,
oh
so
my God.
That's why I didn't include it here. But here's them getting fucking murked.
I really like that blind guy just kind of shows up and immediately knows how all of the power scaling works because he's blind, I guess.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, he's like a master swordsman, and basically as soon as Tao is explained to him, he spent the last, like, in the background of the last two episodes.
When was
just
Tao
training
explained
all
to
this
him?
Shit.
I don't think it was, because him and Islander Girl have just kind of been...
he explained it to her because that's how he sees.
Yes.
He sees through Tao. So
That's
he just already innately understands it because it's the only way he can see.
This is some of the prettiest animation I've ever seen, all of this fight, but specifically, it's really funny because
they show this exact cut twice in the episode.
Yeah.
Because it's so cool.
Shion's just kind of like running around trying to kick this thing's ass and just constantly like dropping attack move names and doing the most insane like thousands of cuts at once, and it's not really doing much, honestly, until Sagiri shows up and starts helping. Also, something interesting that we learned, last episode Senta had gotten like flowered, and they just kind of cut the flower.
He's not dead.
Yeah, he's not dead.
We've mentioned a couple times that there's like a death scene in this episode, and it's Senta because even though he had what seemed by all rights like a death scene at the end of the last episode, they have like a medicine that prolongs his life just long enough for him to tell silver-haired man, hey, I know you're trying to attack what you think is the weak point, but it's actually this other spot. I know
because it's a flower. He's a flower instead of a person. Real quick, Amy in the chat said, not sure if I said this already or if you know it, but the author for Jigokuraku was Tatsuki Fujimoto's assistant in Fire Punch, which has a trans man as one of the main characters. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that about Fire Punch either. I hope they make an anime out of that.
I'm also looking that up to see. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's interesting. Huh.
I'm still wondering.
Fire Punch Soul Eater? Is that the same guy?
Chainsaw Man.
Okay.
That's what he did before Chainsaw Man.
Is Fire Force the Soul Eater thing?
Yes,
okay.
That's Fire Force. I don't know too much about Fire Punch other than it's apparently quite good, but it's only like 5 volumes, I think.
Yeah, I'll check that out. That seems fun.
8, I don't know. It's it's what Fujimoto did before. I believe the Spy Family author was also an assistant to Fujimoto on that manga.
That's a show I'd like to catch up on before it gets to season 2. That was cute.
I think it might have already had a season 2. I'm not sure.
It was pretty well beloved.
All right, so after Silverhair kills the demon, there's this really awesome moment where it's like thing opens up and it's just like full of heads, and they look up and one of them looks at him and just says, "Wow,
thanks.
You're fucking amazing. I could never attain such a perfect yin-yang. I can't believe how awesome you are. I've waited 1,000 years for someone to be able to fucking kill me. Thank you." And then
he dies and turns into roses.
Rose petals, and it's just absolutely gorgeous scene. Just visually fucking resplendent. This show's had a lot of amazing visuals. The background art's always really incredible, which is such a rarity in anime nowadays that any show with good backgrounds almost automatically I will watch it. Like this and Heavenly Delusion, you'll notice that my 2 favorite anime this season are the ones with the fucking background art. Most unfortunately missing thing from Mashle, although when we get to that I'll bring up something you said.
Okay, Quinn, so this is really cute.
I thought was really.
I don't think we've ever seen Yuzuriha be nice before, really. I mean, I don't mean nice, because she's been kind of nice, but I mean sweet,
Only
I guess.
to Sagiri.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, she treated Kenta like shit up until his death. Senta. And in this scene, yeah, it was just surprisingly pleasant, because they're trying to save him, and she's like, "Look, you're not going to be able to save him. He's dead. He knows he's dead. I'm just going to, comfort him and send him off," and she tells him to think about everything that he loves and his family and everything.
I want to rant about this because she has medicine, but she, instead of giving it to him, she takes it for himself, so it's almost selfish, I'm choosing myself over him.
What it is that she has 1 dose of the medicine left, and she can either use half of it on blind guy and then save half of it for herself, or just, I don't know, not have it anymore. And she is very selfish. That is one of her main character traits for sure.
It's also what Senta loves about her.
It's fair that she is selfish and preserves herself over him, but also it's I don't know, and she also takes it on herself to guide him through death. And it's not that it just works for the show, but I think the way she guides him through death would almost work in real life. She brings him into the moment. She has him forget suffering, and then she has him focus on positive, loving memories. And I've just never seen someone guide someone to death before, and it was very moving.
And
I watched a lot of Ghost Whisperer as a child, so I've seen a lot of death guidance. Anyway, this scene is really interesting because when she's explaining why she's going to use the medicine not on Senta, she basically goes, as a shinobi, we had to learn the difference between pain that is just suffering and should be, gone. I'm probably butchering this. Or pain, or pain that's suffering, or pain that needs to end is basically what she says. And she points to blind guy and goes, "That's just suffering. He'll be fine." And then she points to Senta and is like, "He's fucked."
Right.
I could use some death guidance.
Me too. Honestly, mommy.
I think what made this scene click for me too is that Yuzuriha, she's always been kind of a cold, conniving cunt, but also in this episode there's a lot of stuff that's just the result of she's a shinobi. She's a trained from childhood
She's a train from childhood? Choo choo.
Her whole life has been spent seeing death and this kind of stuff, and so I guess this is something she's uniquely capable of, is like the fact that someone that she does care about is dying, like, doesn't faze her to such an extent that her way of expressing care is, like you said, like, guiding him through death. Like, it's a weird moment in that it shows that she does care enough to help him die right, but also that she is just, like, unfazed by the fact that he is dying. Like, it's such a specific type of care, and it fits her character really well. Incredibly done scene. What were you trying to do?
I was just wanting to see the names.
Chat.
Yeah.
So then, this scene, basically, after
they all
all
change
that wraps
clothes,
up,
which is pretty fun.
They go hang out. They have some discussion about how powers work and stuff. But basically, so Gabimaru, our main character,
dude,
he wakes up in a cave, and there's just like a moment of him being like, "What's going on?" And then it cuts to this conversation where Ninja Girl is like, "Hey, you've been saying that Gabimaru is like a great guy because he's doing everything for his wife. How do you know that this wife even fucking exists?
Or that his clan leader is even actually immortal?"
Yeah.
That's also brought into question.
Because she's like, back in my tribe, they just brainwashed us. Like, they just told us whatever. They gave us a bunch of information. They taught us from childhood. Like, there's stuff that we just think because that's what we were taught. Maybe he's just had, like, a fictional woman in his head this whole time. And the show is, immediately makes you suspicious, because I've always been wondering if she was just dead. Like, we've never seen her in present tense. We've only seen her in memories. And then we cut to Gabimaru, and he's on one. Can't fucking remember shit, because he used his Tao too much.
That, like, half of his head is gone in Tao.
From the little girl's perspective, because she can see the Tao, she sees, like, half his head and significant portions of his body's Tao are just missing. And from this scene, we can tell he knows who he is. He knows that he is Gabimaru the Hollow, the assassin, but he can't remember his wife. He can't remember who these people are, and he's just like, I'll play along for now, but this is a very dangerous state, because this is a character who was originally just a
soulless killer.
Yeah, just a soulless killer who spent the whole show being built up into a nice guy, and now he's totally forgotten about that. So,
was it really that definitive that that's why he lost his memory? I thought we...
I mean, it's not really definitive why he lost. The reason why I say it's that is because last episode we saw him really overexert himself, and then... she is a Tenzin, kind of. She's like a bat. She's not perfect as the Tenzin are,
because
or something.
She can't turn into a man, so she's considered as like a whole to them, basically.
Yeah. But, so she can see Tao, and it cuts to her looking at Gabimaru's Tao, and, like, the top half of his head is gone.
Yeah.
And
they had a conversation about how, like, Tao is life, so if you use too much of it, you're basically just using your life.
Yeah, that seems pretty, like, it's guiding
it could
into that conclusion.
Also be, like, because this has been brought up a couple times in the show, like a brainwashing thing, because he was, like, I mean, and it is literally being brought up right now, but, like, Gabimaru's a couple times, like, just had reflexes that were beaten into him by his boss, so I'm thinking maybe
that's why
just,
it's
like...
so hard for him to die.
Yeah, once or twice a year, maybe he just, like, reverts to zero.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's just, like, a click and it happens thing.
I just super love gaslighting scenes of, like, is this even real? What is happening? Like...
I feel like something else happens. Do you have another screen cap, or is this the last one? Okay. That's KamiKatsu, so go back to... because there is something else that happened. So, at the very end of this, there are two Yamada Asaemon kneeling and learning that the Shogun has sent for more Asaemon to go to the island.
New characters are going to show up.
The one we see, his name is Shugen, and as I know everything that happens, Shugen's really cool. I'm really excited to see him fight. But anyway, sorry if I'm spamming, I'm extremely high.
Yeah, shout out Piano Man, who's really high in the chat. Also shout out P, who gave us $2 and said, "Love you, Trixie and company. Thanks for everything."
Thank you for $2.
Oh, I guess we should give our final thoughts on Hell's Paradise Season 1.
10 out of 10.
I would give it a 9, but, that's a really, really high score.
I think it had, like, one bad, and I wouldn't even say bad, just, like, slow episode.
It had a couple parts where it slowed down to do, like, too much explanation, but all of it paid off. Like, The last 2 episodes were both fucking awesome, just like nonstop action. The first episode is pretty good, especially in retrospect, knowing where the show's gonna go. Episode 3 was incredibly fucking cool, and that was like shocking and twisting and turning. All the characters that have like stayed alive are really cool. I'm rooting for everybody. Like, I don't know, man. It was way better than I expected it to be every single week. Like, there was maybe one time where it was like, oh, it was a little slow, but yeah, it's still set up for a bunch of cool shit to happen. I can remember most of the show, so yeah, I would give it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, my final wrap-up thoughts are, 10 out of 10. Watch the last episode; it's really good.
The last episode is a 10 out of 10 episode of anime for sure. Like, just by itself is fucking incredible.
Yeah, watch Tired Mommy guide you through death. Like.
Yeah.
Oh, real quick. Yuzuriha refers to Sagiri as Sagirin. What is that? You know why? What that means? Is it just like a term of endearment?
Yeah,
okay.
just like, trying to give her a nickname.
Solid 8 to me. Yeah, it's probably 8 out of 10, sure.
8 is a very reasonable score. I would have given it that but the last episode was literally good enough that I like bumped it up to a 9. Like, it was just, I've never seen such a cool, like, him killing the monster was like one of the coolest death scenes in anime, of like just like
killing the monster, the
ending
flowers like going everywhere, the heads erupting from the flowers. Oh, it's so beautiful.
And then the death scene, like, again, the scene of Senta being killed in the previous episode was already incredibly captivating, and then to end that with something so emotionally striking, like following that up in the next episode, I wasn't expecting that at all.
People are getting too hung up on ratings. Nothing is
they
real.
always do.
Nothing is real. If something makes you think about death, then it's good.
Yeah, that's true.
Speaking of thinking about death,
KamiKatsu episode 11. This one was
confusing.
Well, oh man.
Also boring. I don't know.
It was mostly this episode. We had a gap in KamiKatsu. This is not the last episode of the season because the show has had to take 2 breaks.
We're gonna have to talk about this next week too.
Yes, the only 2 shows that will still be going next week. Well, no, Pokemon won't even be next week because it's skipping like 3 fucking weeks or something. So that's why we don't have a Pokemon episode this week. But KamiKatsu is the only show that didn't manage to wrap up on time. But yeah, this episode had a lot going on. It's very ambitious, and most of that ambition is not delivered on very well. The very ending of the episode, it suddenly gets really cool, but most of it fucking sucks.
I definitely remember that part of the episode.
Yeah, you totally didn't fall asleep.
Can you remind me what anime this even was?
KamiKatsu.
The really ugly
working
one.
for God.
The one that you said made you want to throw
Oh.
up looking at it.
Yeah, I kind of hated this. It kind of... Yeah.
It was creepy and weird and fucked up.
Well, okay, the ending of the episode...
Not really in interesting ways.
Well, the ending of the episode was cool. So
Yes.
if that's what Elon is talking about, then yeah.
I'm glad someone's
the
going to
ending is
explain
awesome.
this to me. But so this episode starts off with they're fighting Gaia. They do the backstory of the one of the 2 kids that are brainwashed by Gaia.
Yes.
And basically her backstory is her dad has to kill himself as per the government-ordained suicide thing.
Yeah.
And she is not a fan of this, so she gets sent to an isolation camp. And then Gaia finds her. When she's being sent to an isolation camp, strange beasts attack the carriage she's on. We see Gaia in her full, like, Archon regalia when she still has power. And she, like, eats a strange beast with like a blob or something.
I assume she summoned another beast that ate that beast, and then she like takes the kids and it's just like, I'm gonna be your mommy now, and I think one of them slaps her and
she
she's
just
like,
keeps going, hit me more.
I love it. And
Dude,
this is like weird sexual.
I just wish anime was less sexual towards kids. Like, I don't know. It's like deeply ingrained in the culture, I think. Cause
I'm just gonna say the reason that I've always I don't necessarily defend that like it needs to. I don't think anybody should watch anime. Is really my take. But I think it deserves to exist because I know it's all trauma decompression. Like, it's anime is sexual about kids because a lot of people were sexualized as children, and they are really fucked up.
I don't think you should do
it
in like a pop anime. Like if you're gonna
this
talk
is
about
not
it,
like this is like a late
it's
night,
doing like cheesy shit though. If you're gonna talk about sexual trauma with children, you shouldn't. I mean, and these are gags too. These are jokes.
Yeah, it is a comedy show. That is, I get why that is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It makes me uncomfortable as well, especially this arc because it's weirdly like okay. The last arc was entirely about a sex cult. It was fucking funny because it went all out. This arc is about children, so obviously you don't want it to go all out. But the fact that it's even being suggestive in the first place makes it feel deeply creepy. Maybe that's the point, but again, it's a comedy show, so feeling the creepiness next to the comedy is such a, like, it's a whiplash. But also, I'll say, for me, my favorite type of anime has been for a while what I call bathos-driven anime. Basically, shows that are about extreme mood shifts. I'll just call it BPD anime. Like, I like anime to feel like it is just insane.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I love that. I hate this, but I love that.
Hey,
well, this episode has that that moment where it suddenly shifts into a totally different, better
when it
show
becomes
for a
good.
minute.
Yeah.
What?
Get the bar out of there.
Okay. Yeah, it's just because this shot is a smaller aspect ratio.
Oh, did I do that? Shoot.
No, it's my fault. In fact, it changes
Crazy
just
guy.
by me. Changes. Yeah, here's her telling the kids to keep hitting her because it's such a treat.
Then she kills the kids, pretty much.
Oh, did I skip right to the end?
Oh, wow. Yeah, you skipped the most hideous animation I've ever seen.
So, yeah, there's, like, a lot of action that just looks like fucking dog shit
so
between
bad.
CGI monsters.
So I'm going to recap what
All
I
the
remember
character art's
happening real
bad.
quick.
Bird fell asleep because the action was so good.
Yeah, it was really awesome. So Gaia
Grab my
kills the kids by, like, sucking them into the ground or something, and then she summons... It's not really clear what the extent of the beast is, but it's like a 5-headed massive snake that needs... They explain it needs, like, a lot of energy to summon, but it's so loyal that she doesn't need to really control it. Very confusing. I think at one point, like, what's her fucking name? Mitama hits it with a car, which is insane because it's the biggest thing we've seen in the show. It also looks like dog shit. All of the strange beasts...
they're fucking terrible.
I expect them to look bad because they always have in this show,
have.
but they look especially bad in this episode.
It made me nauseous. Like, it made me physically off-put. I was watching it, I was like, I don't know. I hate it.
So, what happens... I didn't see the resolution of, like, the big monster thing. So, I fell asleep, like, when they were being chased by the big monster thing. What happens to get to whatever the hell I'm looking at right here?
I literally don't remember. Well, like, there's just a moment where, yeah, like, the kids have, like, accomplished whatever they're doing, and then she just, like, sinks them into the mud, and it's like, fuck you, kids.
No, I
don't care
mentioned
about
that.
you
I remember
anymore.
that.
Well, I mean, she's winning in this scenario. Like, she gets him tied... This is the main character, like, tied up by his hands and legs, and he's been, like, taken into her...
Domain.
I don't know, fucking reality marble or whatever the
and
fuck.
One of the most, like, jarring shifts I've ever had where it becomes the ugliest thing to, like, one of the prettiest shots in anime. Like, what the heck
this
happened?
whole scene, yeah, like, well, and we finally see her true form, and, like, it had been driving me fucking crazy that they never drew her normal.
Who's
like,
her?
The
Gaia.
Gaia. Yeah, Gaia, like... So everybody else in this show, like, sometimes they might be super deformed or whatever, but they usually have, like, a fairly realistic human body shape. Gaia was always drawn in this weird, like, circular face style, and it's like, what does she actually look like? And it was always creeping me out, because she's such a creepy character. Everything about her is weird and nebulous and not explained, really, till this scene. But then she shows her true form. She looks fucking badass, kind of similar to Loki. And she's, like... You know, got him tied up and basically starts psychologically breaking him down. What's the next?
It's a really
recap
cool
I have?
concept.
So based on what I'm reading
this was
about
also
this
a fun
episode,
visual.
Gaia apparently was like a cult leader's daughter also?
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute.
Well, she was killing him over and over, and there was a person there, like, that kept reviving him. So she was just torturing him by killing him over and over, and she was like, I guess I can't kill you. I don't know. It was really cool,
Yeah,
like,
so
BDSM.
I think this show is very heavy on BDSM, like particularly earlier.
Which is
arcs
based
where,
if the children were taken out. What the hell?
Yeah, the whole children being added into it thing. I mean, it's obviously been way less extreme with the children than it was like earlier episodes. It went really hard.
Oh,
on
really?
BDSM
I probably
imagery,
would not
so,
have continued.
well, I mean, without the children, like it was.
Oh,
it was
okay.
really
well,
heavy on
then
BDSM
then that's
before
cool.
the children showed up.
I like
But
consent.
but yeah, so Mitama in this weird CGI. I don't remember exactly. She's like calculating something. I don't know if it's like how many followers she'll need to get them out of the situation. I don't know. Whatever they're planning, the episode ends with the girls are gonna put on a big concert.
No, that was last episode.
No, this one ends with them being about to put on a big
Another one.
Yeah, but now they're in like punk attire.
Oh wait,
like
this ends at a
show.
concert? That was so weird.
The concert never actually gets shown, but it ends with them about to do the concert.
I thought it did show them like on,
showed
like
them
a
on
float
stage
or something. Yeah,
but they're like they
that
don't
was
actually
very
start performing
surreal.
yet.
Again, like I don't know, like they just give some weeb like money to like make whatever he wants. Just make the weirdest, most pervy shit.
Well, I assume this is based on a light novel series,
Oh,
so
okay.
the original would have just been the stream of consciousness of some autistic person who's seen too much pornography. And
yeah.
Wait, hang on a second.
Which it's cool. I don't know.
Sorry, is Gaia a human or an Archon? Or are Archons part human? How does she have a parent? I thought all the Archons were created by the Emperor. I guess
I
it doesn't
don't
matter.
remember if this is explained. There's like a pretty trippy sequence of her like going back through memories. So basically the main thrust of this whole scene where she has him tied up, and this is where I actually thought it got good. Not just because the imagery was really cool, but basically we learned Gaia's backstory. Her mom was a cult leader who literally like carved the symbol carved runes into her back with a knife, which that was the scene where, like, this show has lots of sexuality, lots of guilty pleasure, if you will. That was how I felt about that scene. It was a little bit of a turn on watching her get knifed and having the letters carved into her back.
No.
That was
Not
the moment
gonna
when
happen,
I was like,
Beatrice.
uh-oh, I'm not supposed to feel this way about this. And then there's, like, just a bunch of really cool, like, death imagery of, like, her upbringing or whatever. But, yeah, basically she went through a worse version of what the main character did. She was also raised in a cult. She was also always trained to be a cult leader.
Gaia explains that all the Archons were humans who got transformed by the Emperor, but only she remembers it for some reason.
Oh.
Cool. Thanks for explaining.
But yeah, so basically she's giving him the classic superhero Spider-Man, we're exactly the same.
We're not so different, you and I.
Batman speech, yeah. And he kind of agrees. And this is the first time we ever really see this character being, like, insecure and self-reflective since the first episode. Like,
which is nice.
He's always been in the mode of, like, how am I gonna win? How am I gonna take things over? And in this episode, like this moment, he looks at himself and he's like, I really have just been looking at people as like pawns and using them, and like I've never tried to really get close with anybody. I've been holding everyone at arm's length and looking at them for the utility. Maybe I really am a fucking piece of shit. And
used to be.
I said was. But yeah, he thinks maybe he's not the best, and maybe he's deserving of these criticisms that Gaia levels at him. So yeah, that's probably the best moment in the episode.
Are we still in the shit anime?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're pretty much done.
Okay.
Because Bird's not going to be able to remember anything that happened after having passed out. It's Mashle.
Woohoo.
Mashle!
Woo!
Mashle's the best. It's not as good as Jigokuraku, but
it's better.
It's better.
He punches people.
I mean, Gamimaru punches people. There's some punching.
Quinn, you had a lot of complaints about this episode, actually.
Yeah, it sucks. Mashle kind of sucks.
It's a shame because the last episode was pretty good. This episode is real feast or famine, or this show, I mean, is real feast or famine. It's like always either like the funniest shit you've seen that week or just boring.
Where are my complaints? Oh, with the representation, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like that. But the episode flowed really nice. I thought it went by really fast, and
it did
was
go by
solid.
quickly.
Yeah.
It had a couple moments I remember, but a lot of it,
I guess it was all pretty
kind of
mid.
detuned for.
Yeah.
I like this opening bit is just Mash's dad and the guy who first basically made it so he had to go to the school just show up, and they're like...
They're just sitting in Mash's house.
And Mash's dad says to him, "Don't you have work?" And he's like, "Screen time is more important than work." So the joke here is these characters have not been on screen since like the first episode. So hey, let's show them because we're at the end of the season.
But basically, they go. Mash's dad goes, "I sure hope no one figured out that he can't use magic and is giving him a hard time." Cut to everyone figuring out that Mash can't use magic.
Oh yeah, everybody on his team figures it out in this episode.
Oh wait, right, I forgot. Cell War, I think this bad guy's name is.
Yes. So is his name really Cell War?
I do think so. Yeah.
I think you're right.
No, the names in Mashle
Woru.
are one of my favorite parts of it.
Cell War, who showed up at the end of the last episode as just like, new bad guy, here we are. He's invading the school with a cannibal who didn't show up in this episode at all.
He's a cannibal?
Yeah, he calls himself like the cannibal.
Oh,
chef
right.
or
We
something
didn't.
Like that.
No, the last guy. No, it's not this person.
The guy with the big knife.
Yeah, I wish we saw some of him this episode.
He did not
that
show
guy was
up
fun.
at all. But yeah, so this dude shows up. And basically, he walks into the room, walks up to the bad guy who was defeated at the end of the last episode, and he's just like, "Hey, you look like you just lost a fight. You're a real dumb asshole. You couldn't even win. You suck. But you gave us some intel, so at least that's cool." And the other guy's just like, "What the do I know you? Like, what is going on?" There's also sort of a background plot of this show's use of pronouns in the subtitles is bothering me. There's a character, I think her name's Void, right?
I think like Abyss Void or
Abyss,
something like that.
That's what it is. Abyss is the masked person
who has the evil eye.
Who everyone thinks is a man, but
Abyss Razor.
After Mash beat Abyss, she revealed herself. I believe she says to Mash, "I am a woman," right?
I believe so, yeah.
I'm pretty sure this character identifies as a woman. It's just that nobody else knows it.
On the wiki, it says male. I'm
so confused about this character's gender. Tell me if
Did we
like,
miss
we misunderstood like something that happened in a previous episode, because they don't really... Japanese doesn't really have gendered pronouns the same way English does. It's usually more self-referential pronouns. Like, if you call yourself watashi, that just means I. But if you call yourself boku, that is a male way of saying I. There are, like... there's pronouns that are more like, I chose to refer to myself as this. But there's not naturally in the language... I mean, you can refer to, like, a man, but you can't say he in Japanese. There's not an equivalent for he or she. It's just not in the way their language is structured. It doesn't require that many pronouns. There's lots of particles, but not really, like, pronouns.
What, like neutrons?
If you were referring to that man, you would say ano otoko. That would be the equivalent of saying he, But, like... so there's no reason to put that many pronouns into the dialogue other than it's more convenient in English, and so they're constantly translating characters referring to the character as he, including Mash, even though I'm pretty sure they said they were a woman earlier. I don't know. I'm confused about it. All I know is that they're definitely in love with the bad guy from the last episode, and that bad guy is definitely going to end up reformed, because everybody in this show ends up reformed. That seems to be... Nobody's died yet. They've all just kind of had their ass kicked, reflected on how they were being a dumb, stupid idiot, and then sometimes they become
the guy who was giving Mash the magic test didn't really, like, reflect on how dumb, stupid he was.
Sure.
He just kind of got his ass kicked by the headmaster.
That's true. But he's a teacher. He's obviously not going to be a character, like... Anybody with cool hair, they're probably going to be fine. Like, be a good guy eventually.
So, Cell War basically just starts killing Abel because Abel lost. Mash, I think Mash goes to pee, right?
Oh, yeah, he had gone to the bathroom.
Because the whole time since the last episode, Mash, Dot, Honey, and Finn have just been like standing around going
why?
Woo,
Why?
woo, woo, and then and I think they at one point they're all chanting main character.
Yeah, they're celebrating that they are the main characters.
Honey calls herself the heroine.
You are hero, she says.
No, she
to
does.
Mash.
Really funny jokes this episode. I was laughing a lot. It was good.
This is my favorite one. Is when my favorite scene because Cell War wears a crown of thorns, and
the cream puffs.
Yeah, Mash like walks into the room with like a giant plate of cream puffs and
to
then
celebrate.
Sneezes them.
Well, because a fly flies on his nose.
Yes, a fly lands on his nose and he sneezes so hard. Of course, you know he would super sneeze because he got powerful lungs, and the fucking shoe creams all fly into. This is just such a good shot. This is my favorite screen cap in the episode.
Well, and I think Cell War is
I
just
love
like
the tired look on his face. Like,
what is this? What is this oblivious idiot doing?
Yeah.
And then everyone else in the room is like, was that intentional? Did he do that on purpose? It's very cute. Cell War just kind of starts. Mash like stomps on the ground and then kicks a rock at Cell War, and then Cell War licks the rock, but he doesn't.
That was a weird moment.
He doesn't go Lido.
Mash is literally like, "Why are you licking a rock?" And I'm like, "Why are you licking a rock?" And there's no answer.
No.
Cell does not have a response.
Well, and like even when he first confronts Abel and he goes, "You're talking to a doll, right?" Abel goes, "Thank you for letting me know," which I thought was a funny response.
It's now a good time for me to go on my rant about this representation.
Yes, representation time.
Yeah, sure. Okay, well, yeah. So currently Republicans and a lot of centrist liberals think trans women are rapists or groomers. So when media reinforces that with using gender nonconformity as a way to make a character creepy or evil, I do think that's harmful. I think you have to look at the context of the political landscape the show comes out in. Like, there is a culture war currently happening, and when a character is just being creepy with it, I don't like that.
Do you think Japanese people who make anime would be as aware of the culture war that
Japan is more homophobic?
So
from my understanding.
that's
Japan definitely has a similar culture war going on. They're both more homophobic and have a much richer history of trans culture. So it's like it's like both sides of the coin. And anime itself is a deeply queer medium.
I'm getting a lot
It's
of
not very acknowledged. It's not very like talked about in public in Japanese because like Japan is it's I would say I'm going to describe it as a culture that reinforces the idea of two-facedness. They really believe you're supposed to have a public face and a private face, and they are meant to be separate. So like anime is very much accepting of the private face. Like KamiKatsu, that's all private face. You know, shit you're not supposed to show people in regular society. Shonen Jump is the biggest manga magazine out there. So to some extent, it is always trying to toe certain lines of being within acceptability, but at the same time, it's also very countercultural and edgy because it's trying to hook in teen readers. And so it's always walking this line of like including stuff that would attract people who are like, oh, look at this guy, he looks really cool, but he is the villain, because if you made him the hero, it'd be a little bit too queer for mainstream Japanese society, you know? So I totally agree with you on this take. Like, I don't like
I don't think the author was trying to be transphobic, but this is a harmful thing. Like, I don't think this should be...
The characters reminds me a lot of Orochimaru from Naruto, but in the case of Naruto, before we ever had Orochimaru, we had Haku, the little boy who everyone thinks is a girl and doesn't really care about the fact that everyone thinks they're a girl and is obviously in love with Zabuza and gets impaled.
I really want to
Sasuke.
hear some behind the scenes of like what was the intent behind that character. Were they trying to do trans themes? Like,
I think so for sure. I mean, I connected
interesting.
with it heavily as a kid, where I was like, "This is me. This is literally me." I wish the
It was
character
really
hadn't died
cool.
because I really needed more exploration. of that character.
I really love that moment where Naruto is confused about it. It was really interesting.
And the fact that like Haku is not like embarrassed about it. That was what struck me, because as a kid I was very embarrassed that everybody thought I was a little girl. Like, I hated that. And when I saw Haku like just be like, yeah, no, I'm a boy, but it's whatever. You know, call me whatever you want. I don't really care. And I was just
Orochimaru
like,
is
wow.
kind of hot though.
Oh yeah, literally me.
And I definitely think that Naruto, regardless of what it was trying to say with trans themes, like Masashi Kishimoto is a very small man, and like all the characters just being as small as they are, like that to me is more integral to Naruto, is that it's about being like a small person who is powerful because of like what you know.
He's a little guy.
and what you've trained yourself
My main
to be.
takeaway from this conversation is we need more snake girls. Like, not enough snake girls.
I guess
Monster
Musume gave everybody 36 feet of snake girl.
Oh yeah, I guess never mind. We have enough snake girl after her. Have you seen the body pillow of her?
Yeah, I have.
It's so good. Oh yeah.
It's it's very long. So yeah, here's the bad guy who I mean, as soon as the character showed up, my first thought was like, oh, this character looks really badass because they're androgynous and and cool.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. Looking at the body
special
pillow.
bed for that.
It's so good. Well, no, you just wrap it around. You
No, she's constricting you. Okay, that's kind of hot, actually.
Exactly.
So Mash is deciding that even though he, basically he's trying to defend Abyss because she gets impaled trying to protect.
Even though she totally didn't need to get impaled because Mash knocked the bad guy's aim off, so they just
it's a guy. The bad guy is the guy. He says
no. I'm talking about Abyss.
Oh, Abyss. Okay, yeah.
Abyss totally didn't need to do that.
Abyss
at
we
all.
could use they them, and it would probably be a lot easier than trying to figure out what the fuck the actual gender identity of the character is. But yeah, the bad guy, who is still kind of a fascist, but his mom was super nice, and he's remembering her telling him that he should be kinder to others. I don't really think this amounts to much other than trusting Mash or something, or not fighting against him. I don't know. Mash, I kind of skipped over this. There is one other good gag in the episode, which although it's the way it's told, it's way too obvious what's going to happen, and it's very drawn out. But the bad guy has this mirror that reflects all magic, which would...
That would be
Of course, immediately your thought is, well, that doesn't fucking matter.
Well, it's funny, because they take 2 minutes of every single character going oh my god, if Mash uses any kind of magic whatsoever, he's totally boned.
But the fact that Mash just punches the mirror and breaks it causes everyone on his team to finally realize,
oh
wait a
shit,
minute.
he doesn't know magic.
Yeah, he's just really fucking strong. I can't believe it. So, I don't know, that payoff was okay, but it taking so long to get there when literally the second they explain what the mirror does, you're like, yeah, he's gonna punch it.
It took a long time, and then also the punchline, they really dragged out. It is cathartic and it is funny, but, I mean, let's not dwell on it that long. Come on.
And thus we won't. And
oh, wait, hang on. Right before, right before the episode ends, they cut to Cell War going to the leader of Innocent Zero and basically relaying, hey, I think I found our lost property. I'm pretty sure he's referring to Mash. I just don't know who else. Because I looked up Cell War's name, I noticed him and Mash have the same haircut. They're both mushroom heads. But anyway.
Except that he's got the tassels.
Yeah. Well, that's not hair. That's
things.
Those are earrings, aren't they?
I
don't know. Anyway, Innocent Zero, the leader, not because they've referred to Cell War as Innocent Zero.
These fucking names.
Oh, Innocent Zero is the big bad, I think.
Why is he called Innocent Zero?
I don't know.
It's such a ridiculous. It sounds
the names
like
are a little silly.
It's one of my favorite parts of the show. Innocent Zero basically says, go get my property, and Cell War goes, alright. And then something else happens. What the fuck else happens in this episode? Oh, right. One of the students that was turned into a doll wakes up and hears that Mash is not using magic, or can't use magic.
I don't even remember this.
And I don't know if it's resolved at all, but the four of the friends basically go, we gotta save Mash.
Also, Cell Wall just kind of leaves.
Cell War, not Cell Wall.
It's Seru Wall. So to
what
me,
is
it sounds equally like war
cell?
or wall. Yeah.
Not nearly as good a name as Love Cute or Milo Genius. I agree.
This was the last episode of this season of Mashle. I don't know when it's supposed to return.
2024.
Oh yeah, not until next year.
Which sucks. I want more Mashle sooner.
Yeah, this is falling into the same trap of Dr. Stone in that the show is just a little too slow to take as long as it's going to. But I would give this a strong 7. It could have been a light 8. But, this last episode wasn't that good. It had a couple good gags, but...
Yeah, for a season finale, what the... Why?
Yeah.
The last episode was way more of a season finale because it was fighting the bad guy they had been building up to all season.
Oh.
The guy who was...
And this was all established. That's weird.
Yeah.
This seems like such a messy anime, but I think the highs are pretty good.
I like the point you made also about the backgrounds because you were like, wow.
Yeah, I love how this is an extremely pure, just like fighty shonen anime, or like this is having no pretensions. It's just a battle anime.
Yeah. That
One
phrase
setting,
said, no
just
pretensions.
fight.
It stuck with me because, yeah, like I always complain about. I just want everything to be at at 11 all the time, but like, it does communicate to you like, no. Don't expect us to build a setting here. Like, that's not the point. We are not here to live in this place. It's just like, I mean, the joke is that it's a generic version of Harry Potter. Like that has, throughout the first half of the show before it really became a battle shonen, or the first half of the season. Like, that was part of what made it funny. Is that it's like Hogwarts with like all the personality drained out and replaced with jokes and. It just makes it so much better than
the one thing they haven't done that Harry Potter does is I wish all of the students had like magical animal companions. I would really like to see Mash with like a dog or something. I think that'd be cute.
Dogs are cute.
Dogs are good.
We should see Mashle as a dog.
That would
be. That's it for Mashle.
Yeah.
Well, Bird, what's your rating on Mashle?
I really like this show. This was not a good episode. It was not interesting. The last one was fine, but it also wasn't that great of an episode in terms of like stuff happening. And there's been a couple prior to this where nothing really happens. It was just boring. Like a 7 and 7, maybe an 8. I don't know. I really want Mashle to continue to be good, but I don't know how exactly they're going to deal with the fact that he is just super strong as the magic advances and advances and advances. He like it's always going to be satisfying to see Mash punch someone in the face, but as a show gag, it's going to get old.
I don't think so.
I think those are the only parts that won't get old.
Yeah,
punching people in
my
the
review,
face.
10 out of 10. Mash punched some people.
Why I say that is just I really don't like One Punch Man. I really dislike the oh well he's just always going to win. I don't have any reason to be emotionally invested whatsoever. Like he's just gonna win. And this kind of feels that.
Does One Punch Man even have satisfying punches? Like
it does.
The animation is fucking crazy.
I know the animation is crazy, but is it directed in a way where the punches feel good?
So.
Oh, okay.
It also depends on the episode. Like the first episode,
I've just never felt punches like when Mashle punches.
No, he really.
No, the
Mashle punches.
Some of the punches in the show are the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's so good. Every single hit, I'm like, fuck. I don't know. It's so good.
It is very fucking satisfying. The action is the best part of the show. The individual action scenes and the individual joke scenes are great. A lot of what strings it together is pretty mid, and I feel very similarly to this about how I do as Dr. Stone, of like when it's at its best, it's an 8 out of 10. The concept is really fucking strong, but it just kind of loses the plot sometimes in that it takes forever to get anything done.
It's mid.
It's not the same as Mashle. Like,
no.
There's more frames of animation, but I was just shown a scene from One Punch Man.
Yeah. Mashle is, the impact is really there.
Yeah, that's what I care about.
Also, Mash is just a way better character.
I didn't hate
beautiful
this
boy.
one,
He has a
actually.
better character design, actually.
This is the last episode of this season of Oshi no Ko, and
it wasn't the worst.
It wasn't the worst
stuff
episode,
happens.
but it still sucked, and I hate this show. And
10 out of 10. I loved it. It was good. Pretty colors, pretty eyes.
I'll say the first...
I think that's just because you look like Mem.
The concert scene...
I look like who?
Her.
Oh, really?
A little bit, yeah.
I'm seeing more of her now.
No, yeah, I can see it.
I need like 2
thought about
bows to like put my hair back like that.
Mission up.
This episode starts with our newly formed idol group giving their first like real concert, which has a shockingly huge turnout because Mem is, I guess, speaking personally as somebody with the same amount of YouTube subscribers, I don't think she could have pulled this large of a crowd, but whatever. They're doing a show, and
I'm very based.
the animation's fucking crazy.
The animation was very cool.
The performance sequence.
The song wasn't bad,
It's not terrible.
We've had a couple
really
really long, full drawn out full songs in this show that I didn't enjoy at all. This wasn't the worst.
No, it probably was the best insert song. I forgot there even were other ones, but yeah. The concert performance looked really great, and it kind of hit a little bit because most of this fucking last couple episodes has just been Kana being in her feelings about how she used to be a real piece of shit. I said was. But
I get that reference now.
She fucking she's the worst. And as she's on stage, she's basically just pleading in her mind like, I just want them to pay attention to me. I just want the love I never got from my mom. Please, 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 somebody, somebody, somebody. And then, wouldn't you know it, out there in the crowd is your boy Aqua. Oh wait, that's her crying.
That's her being sad about her mom.
Is Aqua doing the fucking dance?
The dance they did when they were babies.
I don't know how exactly. Like, Kana's like in her head about like, well, no one's attention is directed directly at me. They're obviously paying attention to the two prettier girls or whatever.
The glow sticks are all... So white is Kana, red is Ruby, and yellow is Mem. And so it's mostly yellow, so mostly people are there to see Mem.
Right. But he's got her baton then.
Please don't eat rabbits. I mean, if I want to eat rabbit stew, I'm going to. Sorry, I just had to respond to that.
Who's talking about eating rabbits and why?
I don't know. I don't really get it.
Whatever. I like that he was playing Beat Saber. That's my joke. Moving on.
Again, the animation here is cool. There's actually my favorite shot in this episode. I didn't get a screen cap of it, but like you see the girls on stage and you see in the distance the crowd and you see him like above the crowd doing the dance, and it's got like these after images. It was a really cool shot. Yeah, I don't know. This whole scene was alright. It was fine. I didn't hate it.
They're in the car back.
Then I immediately hated it in this scene.
I loved it. I stopped watching.
Yeah. Quinn pretty much checked out around
10.
here. So they're in the car ride home. It's all like tense and awkward because nobody's saying anything. I don't know why. Kana finally is like, hey, so we did pretty good, right? And he's like, yeah. You did pretty good. And she's like, that's it? And he's like, well, I can't give you too much praise because you're going to have even bigger concerts in the future, and I got to save all my good praise for them. Wait. That's about when I started rolling my eyes and going,
All right. Don't be Risper, don't be begrudgingly invested in anything. If you like this show, you are genuinely right. Trixie cannot be more wrong about this show. This show is, in fact, 10 out of 10.
You've seen one episode.
People like it for a reason. Risper, you're good. You're based.
The reason is the mom dies.
Yeah, no, the mom...
I love it when moms die.
If the mom dies, the anime is going to be a success.
No.
I'm just telling you.
Well,
if you kill the mom, your anime
there's a reason
will be
for
popular.
that, is that dead moms are fun, so you should stop being so jaded and accept.
That's a hot take.
Anyway.
Look, I felt nothing in episode 1 of Attack on Titan when the mom died, and I was really confused when everybody was like, oh my god, but the mom died. And I was like,
I don't remember the mom dying.
She
gets bitten in half by the smiling Titan.
There's more reasons than that Attack on Titan had a really good first episode. Anyway.
It is a good show. I came around on it. I like it a lot now.
I didn't. I think it sounds stupid going forward.
Oh, when it gets to season 4,
I fell off from season 3
really
and then really picked back up in season 4.
I watched my ex kind of go through the show, and they look dumb. I don't know.
It's got a lot of hefty concepts that are really
It's a hell of a lot more interesting than this fucking show.
This show is great. Look.
Oh, hang on.
It's eye porn. I'm all for it. Same. Risper is same. It's beautiful. The eyes are so beautiful. The animation is so beautiful. I love it. It's great.
This is kind of...
I hate the character designs.
What?
That's actually a bad take.
Yeah, why would you...
I know Butthole Weeb is with me. Shout out Butthole Weeb.
What? I mean, okay.
Butthole Weeb hates all character designs, though.
It's not true. Well, he likes Love Live, which has the worst character design. So actually, fuck you, Butthole Weeb.
Okay,
all right.
You're not here.
Anyway,
anymore.
talking about the actual
Trixie,
show.
You're valid. If you hate these designs, you're valid. But Risper, you're valid too.
Everyone here is valid as long as they give me money.
I'm just thinking about how funny it is that 2 episodes ago, during our filter episode, we literally were like, "Fuck you if you like this show. Stop watching our podcast."
Really?
Yeah.
We're like really
you two
mean
suck.
about it.
You know that.
It's the filter episode.
It's the filter episode?
That one.
Why do you need a filter episode? You have 3 viewers.
We were really angry.
We have 20 viewers right now.
Do we have 20 viewers? Okay. Well, you're sure filtering a whole lot. I don't know.
So Kana is on the ride home with Aqua and basically goes, "What'd you think of that?" And Aqua goes, "It was mid." And she is offended.
Oh yeah, so this.
Yeah, what an asshole. Actually, this show sucks. What a dick. He's not well written. Fuck that kid.
He's not well written.
Jesus, the show's ass.
Well, so it just makes everything really awkward in the car after he says this, and then there's this weird domino realization where, like Mem suddenly becomes aware that Kana likes him, and then asks him his opinion of the girl he is supposedly dating.
And realizes
Akane.
that it is a work relationship.
Well, he literally just
did
says
he just say that?
out loud, he's like, "Oh, I just think of her as like a work partner. I haven't even seen her outside of like the show, so fuck her." And Kana's immediately like, "Oh my god, that means I have a chance." So now she's just like in love with him.
Pickup artist.
And then Mem is like unclear on who she should support. Like, should I be backing Akane? Should I be backing Kana? What should I do?
Well, because
it was obnoxious.
Quinn, you weren't around for this. Akane a suicide attempts, and Aqua saves her after she is jumped by picking her up off of the ledge, like out of thin air, basically. So Mem.
What do you mean? Like she jumps and she runs
jumps
up
off
and
a
grabs
bridge,
her?
and he runs and grabs her.
Do you know how much strength that takes?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Shout out the Edit the Sad Parts music video by Modest Mouse that keeps getting removed off YouTube. That includes that.
The mom lady helped.
The mom lady helped. What the fuck?
I don't know. I mean,
she helped. She was the one who must have asked him how he felt about Akane then.
Okay.
And then Mem is like freaking out about
But basically,
God,
Mem,
God.
Aqua, and Akane were all on the dating show together. That's how they all know each other, and so that's why Mem is having a hard time choosing behind Akane. And anyway, this show. So yeah, whatever. The car scene happens. Aqua basically just goes, "You're gonna have better concerts. Why would I give you high praise now?" Which is dumb. This guy's such an asshole.
Yeah. So. We cut to a scene between
of a guy with like half white and half black hair, which is
he's a like promoter for a
playhouse. I think he's Akane's boss.
He has some. I don't remember specifically what his job title was, but basically it's a meeting that he's having with the producer of the dating show who had talked to the main character, and this whole scene. This is another one of those like we're talking about industry stuff scenes because like this scene did not need to exist for the plot of the show fucking at all. The point of this scene is they're going to put on a stage play adapting this extremely popular manga, and they need good stage. Like as soon as they said stage show, it's like Akane's coming back.
Yeah,
that's the point. But the scene is like 3 minutes of them talking shop about how they're going to make this thing and why it's happening. Again, really unnecessary information. These characters aren't interesting. Producer man, we already know, is just some shitty old guy. And then the new dude is just over-designed, ridiculous, like a character who feels like he was devised for the sake of this scene and being the facilitator of this information. But yeah, there's a popular manga. They're going to make a... God, the way they can explain...
2.5D play.
Yeah, I'm guessing this is just a thing in Japan that happens because having it explained, I couldn't visualize what the fuck they're going to do in this play. I think it like integrates holograms or something.
Hang on. 2.5D, 2.5 dimensional perspective refers to gameplay or movement in a video game or virtual reality environment.
That's not what this is. That's for gaming, but this is for a stage play.
I assume, even though the Wikipedia page says it's about a video game or virtual reality, that the similar aspects are integrated into the play.
How? What does that mean?
You know what 4D is? They pipe smells into the theater. Like,
so it can mean anything, is what you're saying. I really... It seemed like they were saying they were going to do like projections onto the stage or something like that.
A 2.5 dimensional musical, also known as anime musical, is a type of modern Japanese musical theater production based exclusively on popular Japanese anime, manga, or video games. The term 2.5D musical was coined to describe stories presented in a two-dimensional medium being brought to real life.
Okay, so it's literally just anime adapted plays are called 2.5D. That's stupid. That's really stupid. It's in 3D. No. All right. Well, That's some dumb anime terminology that doesn't need to exist.
The first successful manga-based musical production was The Rose of Versailles in 1974.
Ah, well, that's a good one. In any case, there's just so much, like, trying to explain what the fuck this is, that really didn't need to exist, including in the scene where, like, we'll get back to this actually in a second, because there's a scene where Akane and Aqua are on one of their fake dates.
The only fake date we've seen, I think.
And they're just, like, talking about how she's going to be auditioning for this stage play. There's a totally pointless fucking line where he's like, isn't most of, like, the manga that's adapted into stage play stuff? Like, gay? And she's like, yeah, but this one's not. Okay, like, they just felt the need to, like, in case you didn't know, it's mostly yaoi. It's like, okay, but it's not this time, so why really the fuck does it matter?
Well, I think it's literally the show going no homo, which is really weird.
That is really weird. Well, I think they just, like, it's like, I feel like the show is often trying to cut off commenters at the pass. Like, because this is the kind of thing that a lot of YouTubers will put stuff in their script that's just like, before someone comments about how most of these are gay.
That's a good,
in before.
That's a good
exactly.
Point. Yeah.
There's a lot of just pointless in before in this show. And then also, so I have to explain exactly why this show is so frustrating in just one simple concept.
And I've just got to say really quickly, you're wrong. This is the best show ever.
Wow, what a contrarian. What the
like
heck?
4 episodes ago, Aqua finished the filming on the dating show. I want to say, like, episode 3 or 4, he joined a dating show. By episode 8 or 9, the dating show was over. The whole reason he joined the dating show is that the producer knew something about his mom and agreed to tell him something if he did the show. So, for like 8 episodes, we've been waiting to know what this man knows about his mom. That's it. That's the only thing we've been waiting for the plot to make any fucking progress at all.
Guess what? He doesn't know that much.
Doesn't know that much. But even what he does know, like, we got to the end of the show 4 episodes ago. And then they had the start of the conversation 3 episodes ago, or 2 episodes ago. In the last episode, we saw half of it, but not the half that included the information that we're looking for. Only now, finally, does he say, hey, it was probably when your mom was working on this show, because her attitude changed.
She came back from the workshop with, I believe the quote is, the face of a grown woman.
Yes, she started taking care of herself. She suddenly was a different person. So he's like, if she had a relationship, it was probably at this time. That's what we've been waiting for. 8 fucking episodes to get to, probably during a stage play. Oh, hey, how convenient that you're going to be doing a stage play very soon. Wow. Alright. Cool. So, yeah, both Akane and Kana want to compete for this stage play.
Because they want to kiss Aqua. They both want to kiss Aqua.
God.
That's the point, because the 2 characters are in love with each other.
I like
just fucking kiss him.
I like that hair color.
Yeah, she has really cool hair.
Oh my god, I just realized Kana and Akane is literally red versus
like
blue.
Because I hate her so much. Look, we all...
I like her hair.
To quote the hippie at the end of the Anamanaguchi album, the people that you hate are the reflections of your own character defects. Kana is everything I don't like about myself turned up to 11. She's just
skill issue.
All she does is complain about how nobody likes her even though she's famous. And this episode makes it even worse because, Kana's whole character is that she was a child actress. She thought she was hot shit when she was a kid.
And apparently so did everyone else.
Yeah, well, at the time, she was considered a genius because of her ability to cry on command and, like, her convincing emotionality. Aqua showed her up on the set of a film and she never got over it. She's never been able to convince herself she was better than him, and her career floundered. She had a little bit of popularity with a song, like a cute little TV commercial song.
She had like a whole singing career, but the one she got famous with was a song about how eating bell peppers is good for you.
So, like,
I don't like him.
Because of the fact that she never was able to reach the success that she had as a child, she has just been beating herself up for the last 10 years. However, this isn't to say that she hasn't still been in the industry. And meanwhile, Akane, who we have been introduced to as a genius theater actor, claims that when she was a kid, she was a child actor, but she couldn't get any roles because she was in the same generation as Kana, and she views Kana as this world-class genius actress. Which, if she is, why didn't she have a career still? If she's so good, how did she fall by the wayside completely, or is it totally in her mind? I have to hate something based on... I either have to hate Kana even more because she's not only hates herself but is also full of shit and, actually popular, or I have to be angry at the writing for trying to convince me that she didn't have a career but had enough of a career that it fucked up Akane's career, even though she's still considered a genius.
Ellen Horizon, this is so convoluted. Yes, it is.
I can't deal with it.
I'd be sploding.
So my final score for Oshi no Ko is...
Was that the last screen cap?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Anything else?
Strong 3.
Oh, 1 out of 10.
To a light 4. I don't know.
I was really excited for this show after the first episode and kind of seeing what they were setting up for it and learning where they do end up going with it. And then the whole season, it's nothing happened.
Literally, I remember episode 1 was an emotional roller coaster. I really hated it at first, and then it started winning me over. The mom dying was crazy. I was like, wow, so much stuff happened.
That was a really good scene, too.
It felt like a lifetime, because it was so much fucking dialogue and explanation of shit. It felt like I was watching that first episode for a whole lifetime. And then, episode 2, nothing happens. And then you get to episode 3, and almost nothing happens. And then you get to the rest of the season, and it's 8 episodes of waiting for this one guy to tell the main character what the next thing is. I mean, granted, you built up 2 or 3 girls who are now on his team or whatever, but they're all obnoxious. They're all deeply hateable. I mean, Mem is the best one.
Mem is
the only one who's not outwardly despisable, whereas Akane's I don't know, psycho stalker. Kana is just depressed and hard to watch, and the other one's a fucking idiot. Ruby, that's her name.
Ruby is her name, yes.
Ruby's a fucking idiot. So they're all very difficult to care about.
I think you're just a hater.
And Aqua's just a fake Lelouch whose story I can't care about. Yeah, I hated Oshi no Ko, but that's not news.
Alright.
I can't wait for the next season.
Who's ready for Quinn's wrap up?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so I didn't I did think, since I got so bored I didn't watch half this episode, that maybe me not having watched the best episode, which is episode 1, it may affect the score, but actually their eyes are pretty cool. 10 out of 10.
The eyes are cool. Yeah.
That dance in the beginning, ooh, I liked it this late. Alright, cool.
Alright, is that it? That's all the anime. I was thinking about having us going through some comments, but at the same time, there's a lot of comments on this channel.
Is there any, dumb comments? That,
most of them. There's a lot of them that
I guess whatever ones you didn't like, right?
Whatever.
I mean, she even likes comments she doesn't.
I wanted to more so. I was more so hoping to read comments that are good. Maybe we could do a special episode for this or something at some point.
Well, whatever. We have a short episode. I want to see if there's anything in particular.
Well, next week specifically, we're gonna have a really short episode too. So
but if you can't find it,
I guess because there won't be a lot of new shows.
I guess we could have watched Steins Gate between.
Well, I mean, the new shows will start. There will be new anime to talk about next week.
Oh.
So, and also, even if we don't cover any new shows, we're planning to talk about classics. So, the next episode will be the start of We Watch Anime Season 2. By the way, patreon.com/goldenwitchfire, or We Watch Anime on Batch.by. Support us. I have to remind you.
I would love it if he talks about some older shows next season. It seems like there's a demand for it.
Oh, yeah. Well, we mentioned that we might talk about Revolutionary Girl Utena on the last one. You know what? I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna scroll back.
Is there any comments that made you mad?
Well, because the problem is that there's also comments on the actual live stream show so it's on 2 different channels.
Well, you probably responded to most of those, so
that we have comments.
People in the chat currently. You've probably got about 5 minutes to. I mean, I don't know how long this segment.
Anyone got some dumb shit that they want to get bullied for?
Well, there's that. If you want to get bullied, say something silly. But if you have any feedback on this season, if you will, of We Watch Anime, something you'd like to see next season, a classic you're interested in us watching, anything like that, a word of encouragement, I don't care. Say whatever you want. But yeah, that's your, hey, we're interacting with you guys.
What was that cheat skill one?
Oh, that was about a show called Cheat Skill. Alright, I'm just going to start from this Kexi comment, because Kexi is the person who I most want to have next as a guest, call-in guest on this show.
Oh, Kexi's great.
Kexi's one of my favorite anime YouTubers, and he also is a subscriber, so if you hear this, Kexi,
Oh my god.
come on the show.
Kexi's most recent video is a picture. It's a thumbnail of Ruby from Oshi, and it's the popular anime curse.
Yeah, I haven't watched that one yet. I need to. Kexi said, I think what upsets me about Oshi is that it's a pretty decent show, but randomly does things that I cannot wrap my head around from a writer's perspective. Like the fact that every character Aqua needs to acquire and more information from just happens to spill out all of their intentions and ulterior motives on a whim, while our main character is hiding behind a wall eavesdropping, and that this is the main method it uses to advance the story makes me think the writer had no better way of revealing information, or the writer thinks everyone watching this is 12.
I mean, if that's true, that's not great writing. I kind of hate those tropes.
I really want to go back and rewatch Kaguya-sama, because that's who made this, right? The Kaguya-sama lady?
I think it's a guy.
Guy, whatever.
I love how we can hear you ripping a bowl and then having your coughing fit. Well, I don't know if that's true.
Well, not
it
lately.
was true in that episode.
Oh my god.
Trixie likes to hit.
Look, those episodes were like fucking 5 or 6 hours long. There was no way I could make it through that without
Yeah, you're right. Honestly.
There's one point I got shit for like eating on mic, and it's like, dude, I'm hungry. I don't know what you want me to do here. It's been 3 hours of this.
Fun fact, the Oshi muscle influencer was heavily inspired by a Japanese talent named Nakayama Kinikun. The real-life person is known for using Bon Jovi's It's My Life. In the anime, they use a song with a very similar riff as Bon Jovi during the 1-hour workout.
Oh my god, yeah, no.
That guy looks cool.
Yeah, he looks nice. I'd be friends with him.
All these comments are too reasonable.
It says he's a comedian. That's interesting.
Where's that one? Oh, never mind.
I have to get to the more recent episodes instead of, I'm like going back through every comment that's ever been on the channel. Like, I know there were some I wanted to read. Let's see what this one says. I'm amazed you liked this Mashle episode. It was such a fucking turnoff. I really wanted this show to be like an 8 or a 9, but it's more of a mid-6. All the characters are fucking suck except for Mash himself. Some of them are funny.
Dot kinda sucks.
Meanwhile, half of your review on this Oshi episode was about how unbelievable it is that Aqua could pass as Pieon. This is something that bothered me as well.
Aqua is a teenager. Pieon is a bodybuilder who's been doing it for years.
This is something that bothered me as well, but it's so inconsequential to my enjoyment compared to every character in Mashle being fucking insufferable. They seem to be more or less the same height, and in universe he nails the squeaky voice, which helps make it more convincing. The fact that the sister literally is like, that kind of looks like my brother's body type. I'm pretty sure Pieon didn't look like that last time I saw him. Like, come on. I would have preferred they handled it in a less convoluted way. A character trying to pass as another one, especially for a whole day with people they're very close to, is almost always a sort of hard pill to swallow. Yeah. Aqua's plot armor is very annoying as well. It hasn't gotten on my nerves yet, but I really hope he gets his comeuppance from all the stupid and manipulative shit he did that only worked out due to chance, or well, because he's the main character. He's a good boy in his heart, at least. I really hope it's not actually
Aqua's
revealed.
a good boy in his heart?
I don't know
he
about
isn't.
that. I hope it's not actually revealed that he was trying to set up the same group to draw out the killer. At most, it could make sense that their father would be interested in it due to his previous relationship with Ai. Hopefully what Bird said is not a manga spoiler.
I don't remember what I said, but it probably was. Sorry. I don't know. I don't know if I've said this enough. I spoil all of these shows' manga plots for myself. And sometimes, it slips through the cracks. Whoops, my bad.
Oh, yeah, I hadn't known this. Apparently, Devil is a Part-Timer came back last year, and this is actually part 2 of season 2 that's coming out next season.
We should definitely catch up on that. I like that show a lot.
I don't know if I care. it doesn't seem to be very popular. And
Yeah,
also,
no,
this
man.
person said the new
I
season
just
was
finished
really bad.
Mashle. I'm back now. He stopped watching the show to go
honestly,
watch Mashle.
honestly, good
That's
for
based.
you. Yeah.
I would
Real quick,
love it if you talked about older shows.
Amy Worrell in
Yeah.
the chat said, I'm on board for talking about Steins Gate and other older shows. I'd also recommend Sunny Boy, Link Click, which is a Chinese animation that looks interesting. Huseki no Kuni, that I've never heard of, and Yofukashi no Uta. I don't know what those last two are. Sunny Boy has been recommended by more than a couple people.
That's one of the ones that will probably end up getting voted for as a bonus episode because it's come up a lot in those polls. Hoseki no Kuni is Land of the Lustrous. That's a really good show. Very good gender non-binary show.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
I like
all the characters
fun.
are genderless, so because they're all gems. So
Oh, yeah, you have a video on that, don't you?
yes, yes
Oh,
I do.
okay.
I love
thought
Steven
it was
Universe.
I want to read this comment thread. Ex Takea had said, "Can someone explain what they find so good about Skip and Loafer? I watched it and thought it was really nothing special, just a typical slice of life show with generic events and some annoying melodrama with that Ririka girl. The main characters are good, but that's it. Pretty boring show, IMO." Bird responded, "Spiritual healing." And Last Esses responded, "The characters all have rich personalities and complex relationships, so I find it fun to explore how their emotions are brought out and evolve through their interactions with each other, while also being invested in seeing the characters I like find their own happiness. For example, a standout moment of the season for me was when Mika realizes that while she was busy taking note of the boys who wronged her, Mitsumi was taking note of the guy who helped them out. Comparing her own attitude to Mitsumi's made her realize that she was being toxic in her approach to others, and that this was making her and the people she targeted unhappy. And while this realization made her feel bad and lowered her self-esteem, it was also the reason she started to want to improve herself, to become a better person, and to befriend Mitsumi instead of being a bitch towards her. And you can see how this moment affected her by how different her personality is from this moment forward. You could even go further and extrapolate that the reason why Mika used to act like this was because of how insecure she was and how envious she was of others' confidence, so she would try to tear them below her level when what she really wanted was to be liked by other people for who she really is. It is a great moment of introspection that allows me to confront my own emotions by exploring those of the characters, and it is also the moment I started to like Mika, as seeing her struggle with her insecurities and want to be better makes me want to root for her to find happiness, and this show is full of little moments like this for each of its main characters." Perfectly stated.
Just to explain a little more about the spiritual healing thing, because I cannot understand how someone doesn't like Skip and Loafer. For me, what it is that I feel like I identify with both Skip and Loafer pretty much equally. They're just both really...
You definitely have more of a Loafer vibe.
Yeah, no, but like the neuroticism that Skip has, literally me. And so that's always fun. Or like the just all of it. Like she is very ADHD, whereas Loafer's just like kind of relaxed. Aren't they adorable?
I really love this art style.
I guess my one-word answer to the question would be perspective. The manga has a lot of perspective and represents perspective really well. Are we going to watch all the first episodes of the new season? Probably not, because that would take fucking forever. There's going to be like 40 shows. Most of them are sequels.
I'm probably going to watch a lot of them, but I'm not going to make Trixie watch them unless they are good, really. Yeah. Or I think they will be popular. Because every time we've looked at the new season of anime, pretty much the only reason we didn't pick anything is it's a sequel or it is not popular on Mal.
I'm also really hoping we could get a guest. I mean... 1 week is kind of short notice, but if we can get like Kexi on to the next one too, because first episodes are the easiest ask. We don't have to tell somebody, yeah, you've got to catch up on 3 episodes of 10 shows to want to like talk to us. But if we can get somebody to be there for just first episodes of whatever we're going to talk about, that would be fun. Anyways. Last Essa said, "The last episode of Magical Destroyers was so frustrating for me. I really wanted to love it, but it just lacked the punch necessary to make the climax satisfying. When Otaku Hero gets told by God that everything he knows is fictional and that his only purpose in the story is to get defeated and killed, and yet instead of falling into despair at the futility of his own existence, he gets angry at the literal creator of his universe because he's trampling over the passion that he and his fellow otaku comrades share, that was one of the most badass moments I've ever seen in anime. It encapsulates what I liked the most about this anime, the complete sincerity with which it loves otaku passions, passionate people, and also the emotion of passion itself, and the idea that you should unabashedly love your passion itself too. If the story took more time to expand on this conflict instead of throwing it in at the very last episode, it could have been the ultimate man versus author story."
Sorry, you finished that. I just remembered that we have to talk about something else.
Oh, what do we have to talk about?
Dun, 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 dun,
Oh, the Indiana Jones movie. We
yeah.
could do that at the very end, I guess, if you really want to.
I'm not gonna. I won't actually go into it that much, but definitely go see it. It's so much fun. I wasn't sure I was gonna love it until I learned a couple different things about the people making it, and then like within the first 5 minutes of the movie, I was like jumping up and down in my chair, like slapping B's leg, like it's Indiana Jones, it's Indiana Jones, he's back. Oh my god! It
was actually a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it. Monkey Lemur. This is about the dangers in my heart. I mean, I agree Boku no Kokoro is not a masterpiece, and they obviously announced Season 2 before they even finished airing Season 1, which is why the last episode of Season 1 was so bizarre. The early parts are stronger than the later parts, and I think the manga just simply does it better, though the anime was a good tool to bring more people to the manga. I don't recommend Season 2 because even though there are great moments that actually lead up to something, they ruin it by giving the shitty blonde friend any level of importance, even though Anna doesn't even really know the guy fucking exists. It's not great, and the library moment is never quite replicated by the series in terms of complexity, but who cares, as I got the enjoyment I was looking for out of it. But the thing is, I watch a lot of romance animes too, and yeah, they all blend together. It's just impossible to write original things, most especially in romance, where the sheer limits of real life, I think, limits the dimensions in which romance could even be explored. I highly disagree with that. I think, like, Homestuck, just creating the, like, troll.
You said Homestuck and Quinn just perked up immediately.
It's just because we've been talking about Homestuck today, so it's in my brain. But like,
I had to listen to Carkalicious yesterday. I don't know if you ever have, but you definitely should.
I think that was today.
Was that today?
But yeah, we've been up since early in the morning. But yeah, the like watching some Homestuck memes earlier reminded me of the troll romance and how there's like the 4 different.
Kismesis, Moireo.
I don't remember the other ones.
There's
4 different types of romance you can have between trolls, but like because of the fact that all the trolls have like their personality issues, they're always flipping between what types of relationships they are, and like they're very hard line about like it super matters in their culture what those relationships are and how they're defined, and like. I don't know, nothing in anime has ever even attempted to, like, explore romance in such a, like, technical, you know, like, directed way.
The joke in Homestuck is that this is nothing like American, or, like, human romance, and it's like, no, we totally have equivalents for all of these.
Quadrants are the 4 different types of romance recognized by trolls. First explained through exposition.
Oh, no, Kismesis is when you, like, hate fuck. Moireo is, like, best friend. Flushed is like a normal traditional love, and then there is the 4th is like you facilitate. I forget what it's called, but it's kind of the most nebulous one. It's to like
mate spirit kismesis.
Yeah, you facilitate a kismesis. You basically make sure the kismesis don't actually kill each other.
I see.
Yeah.
So. Okay, interesting. Yeah, Homestuck seems like a lot.
It is the most, actually.
Hussey explains that for like 10 plus pages in extensive detail, and then he's like, oh, you didn't like that? Let me explain it again. And then he explains the entire thing again.
And of course, even though like the joke is that you're going to hate it, it is literally the most important, beloved, like, part of the entire story. Like the whole fan base basically exists just because of that.
Yeah.
Because man, teenagers really needed a way to like describe their
You
relationships.
get people identifying aspects for their sexuality. Boom.
I'm not gonna read the rest of that comic because it's long, but
Big shit.
let's see. Is there anything else I want to read? I feel like a lot of the shittier comments were on the other channel.
Yeah, I thought there would
more
be
of the fans are on this one.
Yeah, I thought there'd be more smarmy comments.
Hidden Music Island with €5 says, "Good morning. Good morning to you as well."
Oh, I guess it is morning now.
Well, they're in the UK.
Yeah, they live across the pond.
They almost always miss our streams, but it's always good to have them. I think they're one of the first.
I assume it's like 5 or 6:30 in the morning for. Hidden Music Island, so yeah. Good morning. Oh, god damn it. Oh yeah, all my recent comments are gonna be on the fucking how to recognize terrible anime video, because I've got just like...
there was like immediately like good shit on here. Hold up. What was like the top comment?
Wow, you look exactly like someone who does video essays about anime.
Let's see what you look like. You're watching someone do a video essay about anime. Yeah, post physique, please. Honestly. Is that what you look like? You look fine in that video. Yeah, wow, what a smarmy asshole. Actually. Eat shit.
I love how quickly you woke up to talk shit.
Maybe they didn't mean that as an insult. You know?
They did.
No, I think they did.
Oof, guy that keeps interrupting makes this unwatchable.
Is that me?
About you.
Hey, go fuck yourself. Trixie does it to me equally as much as... Actually, more. Trixie interrupts me on this podcast more than I interrupt her, and I'm really tired of getting this complaint, because go fuck yourself. It's not... here's something I don't think a lot of your fans understand, Trixie. This show is not just you.
Yeah, no, it's our show.
I had to get you to talk about anime again. You would not have done it.
I would not do this show by myself, period. It wouldn't happen. There's no fucking way.
So, basically what I'm trying to say, all of you should be on your knees sucking my cock, because I got your anime mommy to talk about anime again.
I got your mommy
Just go
here.
fuck yourself, actually.
You want to hear from mommy? Anyway.
I guess we're both anime mommies now.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I recognize this person's name, so I'm trying to remember like why, but I can't.
You know, whatever. I guess you are allowed to be so wrong, but let's combine our powers to revive Orcut.
Forget all these comments that
There's
are
so
on
many
my...
good ones. There's so many good ones.
Gate feels like an anime made for 4chan users. I agree.
I mean,
B, have you ever seen Ancient Magus' Bride?
I have not.
Piano Man is asking.
I think I've seen like the first episode.
Also, I think Piano Man thought we were talking to him when we said post physique, because he said he has an 8-pack and massive cock. I swear.
That's funny. Oh yeah, this is a comment I really wanted to respond to.
Wait, so, Dark Souls 2.
Yeah, they're mad about.
I just want to talk about that. Wait, what are your takes? Wait, you talked about Dark Souls 2 in the We Watch Anime?
No, it's just they're just upset about some shit I said like 6 years ago that doesn't mean anything to me at all.
Dark Souls 2 is in fact bad, but it's the good kind of bad. Oh wow, copium.
Typical.
Okay, here we go. Let's go through the whole comment.
All right.
This is from Bulldog Micro 4279. I always say names. I was upset that Shuon Head did a whole video about creepy comments, but censored all the names. I'm like, no, we need to know who these people are. Like, public shaming is important.
Questionable, maybe. I don't know.
Well, it makes you reflect. You won't fucking write a dumb comment again after you got put on blast.
Or you'll write dumber comments. I mean, it goes both ways.
That's true. It's either one or the other. But if you write dumber comments, then you're just gonna get it from more people. So Anyway. Something I noticed with you over the years, if you can't relate to the characters and there are no struggles, you just hate the show. I know objectivism is BS. That's not what you mean. Moral objectivism and being objective are two different things. But at the same time, you hate Oshi no Ko even though it's just mediocre.
No,
well, I disagree. Not. I don't think it's just mediocre. I think it's fucking trash. That's why you now think Kaguya-sama Love is War is okay, even though it's just slightly above average. Strong 7 to a light 8, which, by the way, is also what I would score.
Wow, this is
strong
a
7
very
to a light
weird
8.
comment.
So we literally agree on the quality of Kaguya-sama.
And they're like a long-time fan, but they're like... I don't know. It's weird how they're talking about your opinions.
Probably always had a contentious relationship.
This person
with my
clearly
content.
knows Trixie's opinions better than Trixie does.
Yeah, it's very weird.
I've grown to think your opinion is sort of shit, but in the sense that but in the sense that if you can't relate, you'll find it bad, even if the art and animation are above average. This doesn't excuse the mediocrity of Oshi no Ko, but I would never say it's bad. Just normie/Reddit core stuff, which is literally what we called it from the beginning, and mid at best. Again, I completely agree with you. I don't even see how this is a contention.
What? I don't have to come to art with a subjective, like, measuring all of its qualities. That doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And also, like, if I don't relate to art, I don't care about it. Like, I don't...
Well, that's how
Why
it's
should
supposed
you?
to work.
Yeah.
The point, art is a utility.
Yeah, art is trying to be relatable. Like, if it's not relatable, then I don't care about it.
And the question is, why isn't it relatable? Because, like, it's one thing if there are shows that I think are good, or that, rather, I know are good, but I don't relate to. I don't like Breaking Bad. I don't get it. The characters don't speak to me. It doesn't do anything for me. I've tried to watch bits and pieces. Maybe I'll watch it and like it eventually. I don't know. I've seen like 3 episodes. I was just like, I just don't care.
More.
I probably would, and I've seen some of that from you watching it, and it seemed okay.
If this person's just hung up on the rating systems, like rating systems are fake and don't matter, so whatever.
It's just that I don't think Oshi no Ko is bad because I don't relate to it. I think it's bad because it is badly written, and the author is a fucking idiot. Like, trying to talk about a bunch of shit that he doesn't know about. Like, he thinks he understands the industry.
I think that language is a bit strong.
Maybe he's not... idiot is a strong word. The fact that he can even compose a story makes him pretty smart. But, it's just again, for the same reasons I compared Oshi no Ko a lot to Skip and Loafer. You can watch the shorts on this channel about both of those shows to get, like, the very brief, exactly what I think the difference is. But, like... Oshi no Ko is characters saying all their feelings out loud and just having conversations
them in their head.
And first thinking through all their emotions, then explaining all their emotions in ways that people never do. And like,
oh my god, I just read the last sentence of the paragraph.
Okay, let's finish the comment.
Oh my
Makes me wonder if you like a video game for the art budget rather than the game itself, as you loved Elden Ring, even though it was one of the worst Souls games, worse than Dark Souls 2.
Okay,
that's the end of that.
LOL,
LMAO,
LMAO, LOL, dismissed.
And then also says,
we're done.
The follow-up comment, I'll add that Dark Souls 2 is in fact bad, but it's the good kind of bad.
Oh my god.
My equivalent to this is fast food.
Oh my god.
This is an Ego Raptor fucking steal, because this is the end of the Castlevania video. My equivalent to this is fast food. You were eating trash, but it tastes damn good, so that every once in a while you indulge at the said trash. Actually, no, this is probably a reference to my video of fucking the Astra score. Whereas Elden Ring is too good to enjoy like fast food. What? So I'm just left disappointed with how bare bones copy and paste the whole experience is. I'm just left sad. So basically their take is that Dark Souls 2 is good because it's reliable like McDonald's, and Elden Ring is like a full course meal that's disappointing. That makes sense.
Man,
your metaphors are going way too far.
This person just has a problem where they're trying to like figure out this objective quality to art. Alright, like you can just say Dark Souls 2 is your fun podcast game. That's fine. And Elden Ring is like too big and you don't like it. They don't have
to be good or bad.
Yeah,
those words don't have to factor in at all.
Dark Souls 2 can be a comfy like podcast game. I mean, it's fine.
The fact that I think something is bad shouldn't affect your feelings about it.
Yeah.
I get it. Critics get in your head. I watched Anthony Fantano for a long time, and I still have these weird moments where, like, just today I was listening to this Julia Holter album, Loud City Song, and, like, I love the album. Fantano gave it, like, an 8 out of 10 fucking years ago. But, like, he always has in the description a list of what were his favorite songs on the album and then his least favorite song. Mm-hmm. And whatever he picks as his least favorite song, it always, like, works its way into my head because I just think about, like, either I think, yeah, that really was the worst song on the album, and then it becomes, like, somehow more hateable because I'm so fixated on how it's not the best song, or if I disagree with him and I like the song, every time I hear it, I just get angry about, I can't believe fucking Fantano's such an idiot. How could we put it as the worst song? So, look, I get it.
I enjoy music so much more. It's been a few years since I've watched Anthony Fantano, and I enjoy music so much more now.
Ellen Horizon said I should start defending Oshi no Ko in the comments so y'all can bully me.
I mean, we'll just bully you in general. I don't know.
We are very nice.
I just think, like, if my opinion on whether something is good or bad, like, sends you into this much of, like, a spiral of thought, that's not a healthy relationship with my content. Like,
why is the phone not on silent? We're doing a show.
Busted.
Shit. But yeah, like, I don't know. You're thinking about it way too much. It doesn't really matter that I do or don't like this show. The point of my channel is that I interrogate the relationships of art and viewership. That is what intrigues me, is, like, trying to get into the head of the author and figure out what they're trying to say to me. And if what they're saying to me is information that I don't think I can use, it's upsetting to me because I wasted my fucking time.
I've started to think that Jacob Geller's content's, like, the best way to, like, capture media. Like, he goes, like, this is this crazy experience I had with it. Some people got this, some people got this. But it was so crazy.
Well, and I also get that, like, people are looking for representation from reviewers. Like, that ultimately what you want is somebody's going to say the thing you were thinking that you didn't know how to put into words. And, like, I've always been of the opinion, like, I wish there were tons of people writing about media so that all the perspectives would be covered. But the fact is, a lot of people's perspective can't really be put into words. A lot of my perspective can't really be put into words that easily. I like this podcast being so freeform because, like, you have Bird who actually remembers what fucking happened in the show, and me who, like, remembers 3 or 4 key moments and has a lot to say about them and totally forgets about every other detail of what's going on. So, like, that fulfills 2 different needs on the part of different anime fans, where there are some people who, like, aggressively are upset with me throughout my whole career about how bad I am at keeping track of plot detail. Don't have to worry about it. Bird's keeping track of plot detail, you know?
Most of the time. If you know that I'm asleep, though, I would ask that you, like, keep a track a little bit.
And you know, on the other side of the coin, like, you know, I've got some, like, vast anime knowledge, so I can, like, bring some perspective of, like, this references all this history and all these things that, you know, that maybe these creators are trying to say because they tried to say it in this other show as well. So, like, you know, that's the most interesting thing to me has always been figuring out why I'm having the reaction I am having and then sharing that with you. I'm usually having that reaction because of the author was trying to do something, and either they did it really well or they did it really poorly, and, you know, I'm explaining how that is, and you can disagree, and your opinion is every bit as valid as mine.
Also, they're kind of repeating. Look, if you played Elden Ring, like, when it came out, your experience would not be that they copy and pasted a whole lot of shit. That's just what a lot of analysis people came through, where their job was to analyze it, and so they played the game 3 times in a row, and they were like, you know, Elden Ring doesn't hold up on a second or third playthrough. It's
yes,
like,
it does.
It's like, dude, just... Like, I don't know.
I still go
definitely
and play that game
go touch grass. You know, get off the internet. Stop watching so many analysis videos.
No maidens.
Yeah, seriously. Like, you know, Elden Ring's great.
So to comment on Dark Souls 2 and Elden Ring, because they were like, you must only care about the art budget. First of all, budget doesn't matter at all. It's the design. Like, it's the art design. It's not that they had more money. Different fucking people worked on it. Like, it was a different talent pool. The people who made Elden Ring just did a better job with the art design. But the art design is not the problem with Dark Souls 2. It's the fucking animations. The animations are fucking dog shit.
They're very floaty.
Like, walking feels terrible.
I don't like how
attacking feels terrible.
Yeah,
there's no weight. It's all too smooth, and you have to pour like a ton of points into whatever to make your animations even start to feel better. But, like, that's just the most, like, for me, the control mechanics are the most important thing in any video game. If it doesn't feel good to play, I don't give a fuck.
It's cool that you, like, agree with me on that, because, like, I think so many people grasp at straws on what's bad in the game, and, like, sometimes it just feels bad, like...
Bad game feel.
Yeah.
I don't even think the art design's very bad. I think the level design is bad, for all the reasons Matthew Matosis said, but...
Yeah, anyway, moving on.
Elden Ring is really fun. I still haven't beat it. I haven't beat either of those 2 games. I got to... I like, did everything in the starting area, and then most of what's in Land of the Lakes, but I haven't beaten Raya Lucaria yet, so...
Valid. Pretty valid.
Anyway, that was my that was the comment I most wanted to respond
like
to.
4 times at this point, and
nice.
It's consistently good.
Nice. Yeah. It's amazing.
I mean, I really love the game. It's probably my favorite game ever. I think the strongest art design in any of the games is Sekiro and Bloodborne, like a tie.
I'm just such a Dark Souls 1 stan. Like, I just think
Dark Souls
every single
gorgeous
frame in Dark Souls 1 is so iconic. Like, it's...
Dark Souls is the real Berserk anime.
There's a comment that just says Birdgers.
Yeah.
Birdgers.
You have no idea how much I say that in real life.
He calls me Birdger, too.
Or just
Why
Burger.
did hash browns? They wanted your hash brown.
The Gimme Ghoul collecting isn't as bad as Bird makes it out to be. Collecting 1,000 doesn't take that long when one gives you 50 plus coins.
It gives you 50, and it's fucking annoying. It's...
Yeah.
It might not be as bad as I made
like
it out
cope.
to be, but it's fucking annoying.
Sounds like cope, yeah.
A podcast where you, for the most part, just summarize anime episodes is weird, and I don't really get it. However, I also don't get people who watch anime of manga they already read.
I mean...
I don't know that I think...
I think you'll age out of this understanding of things. Honestly, as
I don't really care about anime. I don't care about adaptations.
I feel like and tell me if because Bird, I know you. There's certain stuff that you rewatch all the fucking time. Like
Name something.
You've seen Hell on Wheels like
I have
6
seen
times.
that a lot.
You've seen well, you've played Borderlands 2 like 100 times or something.
Yeah, I've got like 1,000 hours in that game.
There's like some stuff that you will consume over and over and over again. You see the Indiana Jones movies like hundreds of times.
Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean too.
Oh, wow.
Pirates of the Caribbean, Corpse Bride.
Oh yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas.
So like, but for the most part, you're more of a like, I watched it, I am done, or like I'll go back and watch key scenes, or I'll go watch like rewatch like sped up or something. There's a lot of people, especially in the world of anime, who have the mentality of like, there's so much to consume, I'm never going back to any of it. And like, I started out that way as a teenager. I was not interested in rewatches. I was just like, but there's thousands of anime. How will I ever finish them all? And then I think it was Ghost Lightning wrote some kind of really beautiful post about rewatching and like how he would rewatch the last episode of Gurren Lagann just like every day just to get hyped up to like go live, you know, like remind yourself that life is good and like
life is weird. Everything is subjective. Do something weird. Watch your favorite show backwards.
Yeah,
like nothing is real. Just
what's the thing Jax Blade watches all the time?
It's that he plays the Spider-Man PS1 game like every month.
Yeah,
like
he just do something weird like
plays
that.
through it in an afternoon.
Do something fun.
I mean, Tom Oliver beats Devil May Cry like sometimes several times in a week because it's only like 2 hours long.
It's very short.
He's just like, oh, I got nothing to do, or like I have a little bit of spare time. I'm just gonna beat Devil May Cry real quick, and like. I've never really developed that close of a relationship with any singular piece of media, and I'm super jealous of, like, for instance, Quinn, you playing Dark Souls or Mega Man. Like,
Mega Man 1, I've no deathed, so... And,
that's fucking wild. No deathed it?
It's the most bullshit one, yeah. it's
That's crazy.
I live streamed it. It was fun.
Yeah, like, just getting that good at, like, a hard video game... I don't know. I have strong feelings towards Metroid Prime, and I've considered trying to make that my speedrun game. But when I replayed it on Switch, there were enough moments that I just kind of found tedious or annoying that I was like, I don't know if I could play this hundreds of times, you know? Like, I just haven't found a piece of media that connects with me so strongly that I'm, like, obsessed with it and keep rewatching it. But I do find that almost any time I rewatch or reconsume anything, I have a very different experience with it, for better or for worse. There's plenty of times where, like, you know, I got into something when I was, like, a teenager, rewatched it as an adult and thought it was garbage, or thought it was way better than I originally realized. Just recognized that the plot was deeper than I thought. You know, recognized, like, threads that were set up earlier that you didn't think about, and then when you get to the end, like... I don't know, there's a lot to pay attention to when it comes to media. It's rare that you're going to catch everything in one go. For me as a music fan, I understand that a lot because like I have to listen to an album like 50 times before I feel like I understand it, you know, or like, oh yeah, I get everything that's going on in this record. But sometimes I never feel like I understand it. I still don't know what the fuck's going on like any Mars Volta song. So, you know, I think when it comes to watching an anime of a manga, aside from just getting to experience the story again, it's also very different. There's music, there's color, there's voice acting. Like, personally, I'm just way more into animation than I am into, like, comics. I love comics, but animation is my, like, go-to medium.
Yeah, life is infinite in all directions, inward and outward. Do what you want, have fun, don't stress.
You've gone fully into the acid thought headspace.
Well, no, it's just, you know, life. That's just true.
I was in my version of acid thought is just everything is infinitely outward and infinitely inward. That's, it's just thinking it's just that true. Over and over again.
Good thing to keep in mind.
A whole trip. What else is there? That looks like all the live stream comments. How did I get to the end of them so quickly?
Oh, is that what we're focusing on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Actually, this is strange. Okay, maybe it was just a while between streams. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, if you see anything that you want me to stop on, let me know.
I mean, there's a bunch of arguments with people.
Stuff.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to do anything
your comments on
like
We Watch
specific.
Anime are a lot better or a lot nicer.
Yeah, well,
because they know I'll give them the sledgehammer.
it's on like the only people commenting on We Watch Anime are people who like know who we are.
Right.
And like on the main channel, it's just like, you know, somebody found the video and is just saying what they think about it. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we read all the ones I really care to. We pretty much said something about each show that we have a contentious relationship with.
I feel like we might have watched anime.
Let us know what we need to cover next season. I would like to do Revolutionary Girl Utena. I'd like to do Steins Gate. There's fucking hundreds of anime that I think would be fun to do on this show. It's just a matter of getting to them. But I want it to be popular. I don't want to do shows that I want to watch necessarily, as much as I do shows that you want to hear us talk about. I'll give suggestions that I think will... I just think people will want us to talk about those two shows anyways, because I know my audience likes Utena and Steins Gate. So, tell us what we need to watch. Do you guys have any closing comments?
Go see Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny. It's really, really, really good.
Do you want to do a cute little rant about it?
Fine, okay. So I was sitting in the theater. We were like a minute late, so I didn't catch the first minute of it, which is logos, so I was fine with that. It starts off with a flashback to 1944 Germany. Germany's falling as it did. It's a CGI scene, so Harrison Ford is anti-aged in the best anti-aging I've ever seen. It's really incredible. But basically, the Nazis have loaded all of their artifacts onto a train and are trying to get them to Hitler, the most important one being the Lance of Longinus, the spear that killed Jesus Christ. Indiana Jones is then hung and escapes the hanging by a bomb bombing the building he is in. He eventually gets to the train, finds out that the lance is a fake, but there is this other thing called the...
Maybe you shouldn't spoil it for them. You should just sell them on it, right?
Oh, sure. I don't know. It hits every single one of the beats that an Indiana Jones film needs to hit, I think. It's got really good quips. A big guy dies in a terrible way. It's got the hat. It's got the whip.
Hell yeah. Does he do the callback of where the person swings the sword a bunch? And
No, that doesn't happen. But actually, I was surprised that there's like a lack of Indiana Jones having a gun in this movie. And Trixie had said, "Isn't that like a thing in his character that he just doesn't have guns?" And I was like, "No, because there's that one scene where the sword goes around and then Indiana Jones just shoots him." Trying to think other things I expect out of an Indiana Jones movie that. He says that belongs in a museum like 2 separate times.
Oh
That's
my
pretty
God.
funny. I was geeking out over that. Phoebe Waller-Bridge does a really good parallel to young Indiana Jones, and I know this is supposed to be the last Indiana Jones movie, but I really wouldn't mind seeing
Wasn't
her.
the last one?
Aren't they all? It's dead. But anyway, so Waller-Bridge, I would love to see Indiana Jones movies with her as the lead. I like that she has her own version of Short Round. Teddy was a lot of fun. Mads Mikkelsen is always great. I don't feel like this is that much of a spoiler. So Mads Mikkelsen is the main villain, and he is a Nazi mathematician who his motivation is to go back in time and kill Hitler because he thinks he could do it better. Which is just like...
Wait, like more evil?
Yes, exactly. So at one point, the movie takes place in 1969 with the moon landing. Apparently, Mads Mikkelsen's character helped us get to the moon in that universe. And so he gets room service at a hotel in New York at one point. And a guy comes in, and basically they have a weird little race conversation. And Mads Mikkelsen ends it with, "You didn't win the war. Hitler lost it." And there's a lot of like weird little quips like that. But I don't know, like they really made the most evil Nazi villain they possibly could, I think. And also,
that sounds cool.
When he dies, like you get to see about a minute or two of him just realizing like, holy shit, I'm an idiot. Everything
cool.
I was doing was dumb.
That sounds cathartic to see a Nazi get beat up.
Oh, there's a lot.
The end of the
Nazis
movie is very good. It was a shockingly good ending.
I
don't want to spoil what happens, but every Indiana Jones has some kind of supernatural twist, and this one was particularly like, what
really?
in the fuck
Yeah.
is
really?
going on.
Oh, interesting. Okay, well that's more okay. We had 420 views.
Hey.
Last thing I'll say about it. My favorite quip in the movie was at one point Mads Mikkelsen's character makes a joke, and Indiana Jones goes, "You're a German, Voller. Don't try to be funny." I really like that. Anyway, that's it. We watched anime. I watched Indiana Jones.
My take was every anime was 10 out of 10, really good. Anime sucks.
Yeah, we are at the end of the season. I would say
anime is 0 out of 10.
the best show
Don't watch
was Hell's
anime.
Paradise.
You are a fake anime fan.
Heavenly Delusion, Skip and Loafer were good. Everything else was either mid or shit. KamiKatsu's still not fucking over. Pokemon's not gonna be back for a while.
Pokemon. Is that how you pronounce it? Pokemon.
Pokemon. It's time for adventure, diamond and pearl. We're gonna change the world.
All right, that's it.
Goodbye.
We can't keep
The
listening
fat lady
to
has sang.
segments. What? Don't call yourself fat.
That's it. Oh yeah, Anime Forever.
Anime forever.